I talked to our buddy Andrew from the Pinball Dudes this morning. He is bringing us by a new pinball machine, and you can do this. You can rent pinball machines for your home or business and do exactly what we're doing. In fact, I think he switches them out a little more regularly when you are subscribed, but he says the one he's bringing by here will blow our feet off.
All right.
He says the next one he's bringing in will literally make us go crazy.
Buy, sell, rent. But Andrew, if you do any of this, buy, sell, or rent.
He takes care of everything.
Yeah, he'll come by anywhere in Florida, and that's the thing he does for Tom and Dan listeners, that if you buy a pinball machine, he'll deliver it and set it up in your house or business. You rent from them, deliver,
He's
set
pinball
up.
crazy, knows what he's doing.
And that's free for Tom and Dan listeners. This is an unbelievable gift, too, for someone that wants a piece of art that you could play that changes the mood of not only your customer walking in your business, but like someone walking in your house, they see a pinball machine, like they're like, oh, like imagine
what
you
about
have some
a gift
grandkids.
for Father's Day? A gift for your husband's coming home from the military. Oh, your wife got a promotion. I mean, this is a good ass gift.
Like you get a pinball machine in your man cave, or the let's say any of your game room, or anywhere in your house.
Let me talk to you.
It's a fun thing to walk in. You're like, oh, you got a pinball machine? That's awesome.
Let me talk to you, man cave guys, for a second.
Yeah.
Everybody has a kegerator. Not everybody has a pinball machine.
And that pinball machine could hold its value, especially you get a good one that's popular. Like you could just resell it later, and essentially you just rented it for a cheaper price.
It's very similar to like fancy watches in that regard.
And then getting one swapped out every quarter when the rental that Andrew provides is awesome, because like we have a different one every quarter in our business, and people come in, guests come in, they're like, oh, new pinball machine. It's new to them. You got a new one.
If you got a bar, if you get a restaurant, if you're an attorney, or if maybe you just want something crazy in your lobby you could treat your staff like, hey guys, I got you a pinball machine
for the break room.
For the break room, it does make it better.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that all football players ask for in their training facility? Ping pong table. They need something. You need some fun in there. You can't just have nothing in there.
But that's too hard. Pinball is way easier than ping pong. And it's more fun, and it's an art piece. Text or call Andrew. Here's his number: 321-591-1062. Just put it in your phone. Text him. He'll hook you up. Tell him you're a Tom and Dan listener. It's thepinballdudes.net. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. Come hang out in the chat room. We would love to have you hang out. You could be in there right now like our buddy Ghost of Minute Bull, Frogging Molly, and Shred Bear.
So we have a guest from the Orlando Science Center. Of course, Science Night Live is February 14th. We've been telling you guys about it. Great date night. Adults only. They have drinks, they have appetizers, they have great shows specific to Science Night Live. And speaking of that, she's going to be there, and we'll talk to you about what you're going to be talking about. But Christina Corp is here, and you have one of the best job titles I've ever heard, which is astronaut manager.
Astronaut wrangler.
Okay, a wrangler.
Yeah. Because, and I was talking to my wife this morning a little bit about your job title, astronaut wrangler. And what I found interesting is, obviously, the term wrangle, right? My wife namely, has met a few astronauts, and she described them as being very, very unique human beings that require a bit of wrangling. So how does one become an astronaut wrangler?
So as I mentioned when I came in, I used to work for John Tesh, and then when I wanted to have a quiet, boring life, I answered an ad in the Hollywood Reporter to work for Buzz Aldrin, the second man to walk on the moon.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is going to be a piece of cake, man. After everything I've done, working for an old dude who walked on the moon, I did not realize he was going to take over my life for 12 years. So the reason I gave myself this title of astronaut wrangler is because people would call me up when I worked for Buzz and say, since you're the astronaut whisperer, and I'm like, that's not the word.
Okay, all right.
Wrangle.
And so I started calling myself when I left Buzz Aldrin Enterprises, and I went off on my own. After 12 years of my life being devoted to Buzz Aldrin, I decided to start my own company, and I started calling myself the astronaut wrangler. And my friends were like, how dare you? That is so disrespectful. But the astronauts were like, accurate. I was like, as long as they're cool with it, then I will keep it.
Did some people sort of think it was like disrespectful? I mean,
just my friends. My friends were were like, "How dare you?" I was like, "Come on, I know these people,
Right.
and they know they're strong personalities."
Well,
I
let me ask you then. Let's lead with that. Wrangle. Are they how hard is it to wrangle an astronaut?
I mean, one astronaut said to me, "Oh my gosh, we're like wrangling cats." So it's totally accurate. And actually, my good friend Nicole Stott, who will be with me at the Orlando
go.
Science Center, we're very close. She's my partner in purpose. But when we're together, she'll tell people, "I'm the wrangled astronaut."
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, because most astronauts, most all of them, like super type A, usually the smartest of their class. I mean, former probably jet pilots and like just the top of the top as far as achievement, and then that personality probably hard to organize, right? Or like or you have to understand like how their brain
Is
works.
there a similarity, or are they just as unique as? I mean, we're talking about them like they are cats, but like, are they just like us? I mean, or are they?
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
there like a main characteristic that you see that you're like, oh yeah, all astronauts have X?
The thing that I admire about astronauts is they're curious, they don't give up, and they are really excited about being something greater than themselves. So, and they're a bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
So that is something that unites all of them. But the thing I'd like people to know is, some of them do have PhDs and they're the best fighter pilots. But honestly, most of them like a lot of them were C students. They were not the top, which is kind of amazing, but they wanted to do it so bad. And this is everybody at NASA too, by the way. So I like to tell people this because people say to me, how's it being with all these elite humans? I'm like, nah, they're not any smarter than I am.
That's
like
interesting.
that,
So,
yeah.
so most of our C students like didn't do well in school, weren't the valedictorian of their class.
Yeah. Because the ones who were the best academically went on to be researchers, or they decided to make tons of money, or they went on to something else. I'm not saying all. Some astronauts did decide, okay, I'm going to, but by the way, they're government employees, so they make government employee pay.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
even the guys who are going to the moon on Artemis 2, which is the next mission to the moon, by the way, next month,
There you
Yes.
go.
humans going to the moon,
Mark your calendar.
Yeah.
they're government employees and they don't get hazard pay. So they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it for the exploration, and that's the thing.
Whoa.
Oh, so Christina, okay, so the lot to talk to you about, and
Lots
again,
to unpack. We've been here 4 minutes
Yeah.
and there's just bags
and-
I know, I'm
everywhere.
sorry.
No, I love it.
Before
Thank
we
you
move
for
on,
being here, by the way.
Jeff is here from the Orlando Science Center.
Let's get our business.
Let's plug the Science Night Live coming up February 14th.
I can say, though, I am very happy to sit backseat to the astronaut wrangler.
Right.
You know,
Well, and
because
you need some wrangling too, Jeff.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, the Science Center wrangler. But I mean, she's the reason that people are going to come to Science Night Live. Her and astronaut Nicole Stott are doing this awesome fireside chat that's going to be moderated by our friend Brendan Byrne from Central Florida Public Media.
There you go.
They're going to talk about their life, their career, their passion for exploration, and also how all that comes together to a really amazing art exhibit that is now on display at Orlando Science Center that Nicole and Christina have curated, featuring artwork from both Nicole, who painted in space, painted on the ISS, and some other astronauts that have contributed to that display. Also, artwork from other NASA professionals and students from around the world. But Science Night Live is a great event. Tom and Dan, I know you've been there and you've enjoyed it.
Without a doubt. And this one especially,
It's
I
perfect.
think,
Yes, very special.
because it is the Valentine's Day deal.
Yes.
Because love will be in the air. Like I also feel like Tom and I like this event because I've said this before. There are activities and things for you to do. It's purposeful. You're not just going there, oh, what do you want to do? No,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
are
yeah.
things that you're going to get to do, and it just makes for a better day night.
100%. Just because, if you're interested in space and science at all, this is a perfect.
Also,
for it.
weird things this week I've been like kind of obsessed with, and I knew you were coming in, but I didn't know we were going to talk about like painting in space. I've become recently like sort of obsessed with things that are done in space. Just yesterday, I was actually Googling. I'm having a guitar made. I'm having a pedal steel guitar made. Nobody plays pedal steel guitar really anymore, and I'm having one made. There is a CD of pedal steel guitar that was played on the space station.
Oh, really?
And they have it framed at the shop where they build the thing. I just like little things like that. It's just weird.
Oh,
you know,
hold on! I got more info.
Yeah,
for
give me
you.
some-
Like,
give me some stuff.
You know, Fly Me. Buzz has a golden record from Quincy Jones because Quincy Jones produced "Fly Me to the Moon" with Frank Sinatra.
Yes,
so
yes,
that
yes.
went to the moon on Apollo 11, and there are a bunch of country stars who made a whole record for Apollo 16, like Dolly Parton and Hank Williams and all these guys. So lots of music in space.
Yeah, I love weird stuff going into space.
And
It's
so
cool.
Science Night Live is going to be very cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
we'll be talking
Saturday
about
night,
this stuff,
The
yeah.
February 14th. Leading off is Nicole and Christina doing their chat. We'll also have world champion magician Jason Latimer, who
Yeah.
you had on the show,
He's
doing some
awesome.
shows. Also, really cool Lego group, going to do some awesome Lego builds. That is from 8 to 11:30 on February 14th. What's also great about that weekend is it sparks STEM Fest,
Yep.
which is our biggest event of the year.
Yep.
So SNL is plugged into that, plus Valentine's Day, plus Nicole and Christina. So just definitely worth checking out. Hope everyone can
And the
make it.
art, like that.
And the art,
I
that's-
didn't even know about that.
That's what
Yeah.
I wanted to say too,
That's
by the
cool.
way. So we do have Nicole's artwork that she painted, first watercolor in space, which was in the Smithsonian.
That's cool.
But we also have artworks by Michael Collins from Apollo 11, Alan Bean from Apollo 12. We have art like a poetry book from Al Worden from Apollo 15. We have an artwork made in space by one of the first commercial astronauts, Richard Garriott. He painted in space. These are in this exhibit at the Orlando Science Center. So we want people to come and see it.
Jeff is literally throwing everything at
Yeah,
it. You're throwing it
Yes.
all at it. man. I
the
love
heavy. The bar is raised when it's Valentine's Day, so we gotta bring out the big guns.
Yeah.
Get your tickets at OSC.org.
Please.
So, Christina, I want to ask you about this because, being that you managed Buzz Aldrin and being around this industry, there's been this conspiracy theory that is not gone away, right? And it seems to have like almost gotten more popular from like podcasts and like, I think,
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly an infamous topic that gets kicked around now and
it's
again.
a conspiracy theory that we did not land on the moon, that it was all staged, right? And I'm sure you dealt with this through your career, and how it's weird too, because like there's proof. And every scientist will tell you, like, there's proof, like there's satellites that orbit the moon. We could see the Mars rover,
Yeah, like right now.
Any country could shoot a laser to like basically huge
The reflectors, yep,
reflectors,
yep.
and like and also, and what tells me that 100% it's true beyond a reasonable doubt is the other countries would love to debunk the fact that the U.S. went to the moon. Like
Yeah.
billions of dollars would be spent to try to debunk this, especially Russia. Any other country would be like, there's the proof, and like information can spread easily. So it's like, it seems like a flat earth type of conspiracy that's absurd, but it still resonates in our societies heavily to the point where there are lots of people that are listening to me now, they'll be like, Tom, you're so naive. You're such a sheep believing we actually went to the moon. And I'm like, I can't believe this is still going on. So how'd you deal with this?
Well, I still deal with it. I mean, Buzz and I would deal with it. And Charlie Duke, the 10th man to walk on the moon, I work really closely with him.
Right on.
And I like his answer. And he says, we went to the moon 9 times. You think we'd fake it 9 times?
That's actually a really clever answer.
And plus, and he was actually on a podcast recently having to defend this with this idiot named Bart Seibel. And I'm
saw
going to
this.
say idiot because he's the guy that Buzz Aldrin punched out in 2007. You can find it on YouTube.
It's awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that
It's-
Buzz punched that guy in the face, I'm like, yeah,
At a
it was the
time-
best thing I've ever seen.
At a time when people can disagree, it's one time that I think we can all agree that he stood up. He was an American. He punched this guy. Don't you dare say that.
Buzz reminds me of my pop-up so much that I'm just like, nah, I love the fact that he
Get him.
punched that guy.
Well, I have to tell you the story because 2 weeks after I started working for Buzz, my dad wanted to meet him. My dad is a big guy, 18-wheeler driver. So
Oh, right on.
He comes by the office and he says, I heard you beat some guy up. And Buzz said, it was more like a one punch. And so I just was like, what? And I looked it up. But my favorite story is we were in New Jersey at an all-boys Catholic school. We totally got blindsided. They asked Buzz to get up and speak in front of this auditorium of 600 boys. And he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, crap, they didn't tell us they were going to do this to us. Anyway, but he said a few words and then this boy stood up and said, I heard you beat some guy up. And Buzz said, well, no, I need to explain. This guy was harassing us, not just me, all the Apollo astronauts, just showing up everywhere, trying to get us to swear in a Bible we did or we didn't land on the moon. He said, and I kept trying to get away from him, but then he called me a liar and a cheat, and that was it. So, pow! And these 600 boys stood up and started chanting, USA! USA! and I have photos from this, but I wish with all my heart I had been recording it. It was just kind of an interesting thing of like this pride these boys felt, you know.
It's such a famous video, though, because imagine doing something that significant and that meaningful, truly, like literally living history, and to be told something like that is just...
Well, and even me, I have to tell you, I got divorced a couple of years ago, so I've been dating the last couple of years, and I can't tell you how many times these guys will say, oh, come on, we didn't land on the moon. I was like, this is not going to work out.
Yeah, get out of here.
If you're gonna
There's
ask
your red
me,
flag.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know I worked for Buzz Aldrin and I work with Apollo astronauts and you're asking me that question, bye-bye.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't need that.
But just like do you think it has anything to do with like, is there some validity behind like them enhancing? Because media was so, amateur back then, even amateur, like their technology was so bad back then. They enhanced images obviously you need to promote it.
You're asking why people believe that.
So then you enhance images and something like, you're like, okay, this is the exact image. We altered it. And people are like, oh, that's proof that it's not real. It's like, no, we altered it because we wanted to show the world in a better way what it looks like because our technology's not that good. Do you think, is that part of the problem?
Yeah, but you know what it is partially too is if you tell somebody that we landed 6 times on the moon, they're like, what?
They don't even know.
And I will say, when I started working for Buzz, I didn't know there was more than Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. I didn't even know about Michael Collins. And all of a sudden, I'm with 20 Apollo astronauts in the room. And so I would say to people, I think I'm the average American who didn't know there was more than one moon landing. You know, so that's part of the problem.
Well, that's just ignorance then. If you don't know something,
well,
you just don't know something.
if you're not a huge space geek, you're not going to know these things, right? You just know about Neil and Buzz. They will always be the most famous, people in the world. And then, of course, now they're are people like Nicole who've gone to the space station, and I'm lucky. I probably know 100 astronauts, and I'm unless working at NASA. But I mean, even sometimes people just assume I know all the astronauts. So they're like, oh, so-and-so. And I'm like, I don't know who that is,
Right.
So I mean, and I'm deep in the space world. I just think the conspiracy, and by the way, I was part of a conspiracy. So Buzz Aldrin and I went to the South Pole in 2016. He got sick. We got evacuated from the South Pole, and I had to approve a press release when we got to so we went all the way across Antarctica. And he got high altitude pulmonary edema, and he started getting like fluid in his lungs. They flew us to the other side, and we landed, and I was bleary eyed, and I had to approve a press release that we were evacuated. And then we were evacuated the rest of the way to New Zealand. By the time we landed, there was so much paparazzi everywhere, but more like immediately someone. And by the way, I created all of Buzz's social media accounts. I created his Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, all these things. And so somebody created a tweet that looked real that said, from Buzz, there are alien pyramids at the South Pole. It's pure evil itself. And it looked real. So, of course, people started sharing this.
Oh, no.
And I was getting bombarded with people. Christina, you were there. Oh, my God. Tell us about the alien pyramids.
Yeah.
Is
it pure hell?
Wow, that's crazy.
And I just picture somebody sitting in their basement going, I'm going to mess with people. And just use Photoshop. But the funny thing is, that was 2016. So last year, my sister says, hey, I just saw you on TikTok. I said, I'm not on TikTok. She goes, no, I saw this. There's a video by some influencer who was doing the conspiracy about the alien pyramids, and then I saw the pictures of you and Buzz. So, I mean, unfortunately, I do think there are people like, I'm just going to mess with people. And it's unfortunately successful because it seems like, oh my God, I'm privy to this information that people don't know, So.
Do you think that, and we talk about it all the time, like the dead internet theory, that soon there will be so much fake stuff and AI will create so much fake stuff that, like 10 years, whenever it happens, that you can no longer trust anything you see on the internet, rendering it almost like you don't know anything you see, you don't know if it's real or fake.
It's a worry, yeah. I have an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old.
Okay.
So my kids are on YouTube all the time.
Yes.
They're doing, but I will tell you what's interesting to me is they don't trust AI. So they know they're allowed to use AI now in school, and they're like, "That's cheating." So that's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's not my influence.
like a different
That's just their
relationship
own-
with it than we
yeah.
have.
So I think I know some people are worried AI is going to take over the world. I am not, because I
I'm not
think
either.
that people are hungry for reality and human interaction. I mean, here we are in a studio looking at each other, talking to each
Sure, yeah.
other.
And it can't be duplicated. Even when we try to do Zoom or we try to do phone call, like we did the
It's
phone
not the
call with
same,
Adam
yeah.
Carolla, it would have certainly been better to have him
Yeah,
in
of
here
course.
earlier this morning or something like that. Would have been better.
Well, it definitely going to make things easier. And tell you, speaking of astronauts, like Buzz Aldrin and that generation of astronauts, when they went to the moon, I mean, and that's part of why this conspiracy theory, I think, still exists, is because we are familiar with the amount of the limited technology they had.
Well, it's the most
And it
fascinating
seems-
part,
yeah.
right? Like when you go to
And it seems crazy to even think about.
when you see
but
their
they had-
module.
But
and-
they had the top. Look,
At the time.
they had the access to the best computing in the world, and so people would say this to Buzz because he had 2 iPhones, redundancy, backup. And he used to say, "Yeah, but if I throw this up in the air, is it going to do a rendezvous? Is it going to do this?" And so, I mean. But what people don't realize, the reason we all have this cell phone is because of NASA.
Yeah,
because NASA had to create all these things that were fast, lightweight, and all of that. So we're all getting a piece of that, this moon landing, and what we will get from the future missions,
I think
too.
that's a really great point, because people talk about, why are we going back to space? We've already been to the moon, or it's so expensive, it's so much to do, just so we can say we've been there. And people don't really realize how much beneficial technology and benefits come from the space program.
Yeah, and that's why, honestly, going to the space, the Orlando Science Center, this is why we want people to go places like this and see also all the cool little ways. I mean, I have kids, like I said, and there's a lot of hands-on stuff there. And that's the thing, and by the way, why we do art is because we're very passionate to make sure people know that most astronauts are artists or craftspeople in some way, and how
Really?
critical that is. Yes, every astronaut I know has some creative outlet. And even my buddy, Doug Hurley, who was on the first SpaceX crewed mission, he told me, well, my buddy Bob was better at spacewalking because he carves figurines for a hobby. He's like a woodworker.
Oh, he's whittling, yeah.
So he has better dexterity in his hands, and he's able, because spacewalking is really space crawling at the space station. You're holding on with your hands, not your feet,
Yeah.
So, but that's why you see this art exhibit with us and all these astronaut artists. And by the way, even Alexei Leonov, who was the first human to do a spacewalk, Russian cosmonaut, he sketched portraits of all his crewmates in his spacecraft.
Weird.
So we want more people to realize they are very creative, and that's super critical to problem solving and all the things. And that's what I love about the Orlando Science Center. There's lots of hands-on things, lots of creative things there.
We're all about what we're doing is stimulating these STEM skills. And when you say STEM, everybody thinks guys in lab coats or rocket scientists, but STEM is really a set of skills that helps you be successful. It's critical thinking, it's creativity, it's collaboration, communication, problem solving, which is all epitomized by an astronaut.
It's also kind of weird that we only cherish that around our children. We're like, oh yeah, STEM. But what about us?
We could all benefit
Right.
from
Or what
this.
about the date night at the science centers? Like,
We
let's do some
all
STEM.
need these skills, right? Well, gosh, in dating, you need to be critical thinking and problem solving,
think on your-
creative.
Yeah.
But it's
Problem
important
solving.
stuff. It's important stuff
But look
that
at
comes out of
me.
these experiences.
I worked for John Tesh. Before that, I was a singer. I used to tour all over the world
Oh, no
singing.
way.
So when I applied for the Buzz Aldrin job, they had gotten hundreds of resumes. And then I got the job, and people ask me all the time, how did you get this job? And I'm like, I applied. And I had the right skills, which was entertainment skills, and I would meet other people from NASA, and they're like, what's your PhD in? And I'm like, getting crap done.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Facilitating, yeah.
Taking care of business.
Resourcefulness, that's my biggest. Creativity, creative ways of finding, making things happen. But this was not an engineer's job, to
Yes.
promote Buzz Aldrin and to help him with his appearances and his media. That an engineer would be the worst person.
Of course,
frankly.
yeah.
I wonder
this is the entertainer's job
Yeah.
is familiar with media and how the industry works.
But it's also inspiring to think that somebody outside of that normal like STEM area because you're showing the creative side, the entertainment side of it, but you're working in the space field.
Yeah.
Which is really neat.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, because
I think a lot of people forget that it works hand in hand, and they think of like anybody who works for NASA or in space as being the super math, like the human calculator, and you know, almost like a saturation.
It is the stereotype.
Like
yeah.
there's some jobs like saturation divers, or was like, oh, this guy is a human calculator, like
Right.
he has no fear, like and like stuff like that, and then you forget like with the creativity, especially for astronauts too. And I had heard this, and tell me if this is correct. Like they wanted creativity in their astronauts, especially because it's easier for them to describe what they're seeing to humanity.
Well,
and, like,
now
and their
now.
experiences. Yeah.
Not in the beginning.
Okay.
I mean, Neil Armstrong had the most non-expressive personality I've ever met. I mean, he
the
was
stereotypical real man. You know.
well. I would say hi, Neil, and he'd go hi.
Yeah.
And that would be it. There would be no like, hey, how you doing? Or no, man, Buzz is like,
Yeah,
super
he's not going to
expressive.
chirp you up like I do. I'm a chirper.
No, but I will say, you know, he also, though, was chosen because they wanted the guy who was cool under pressure, wasn't going to panic, you know, all this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why all those guys were chosen. But then they were the ones who said, you know, we need to send poets and artists and musicians because we're not the best equipped to relay this profound experience,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll drive you there. You guys draw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
So,
like one of
Christina,
those guys.
I'm curious your thoughts on when we do go back to the moon here coming up, you know, like you said,
Month away.
March 7th is the launch. Hopefully
The next one, yeah.
Yeah.
Or attempt, yeah.
Yeah.
We hope.
And,
We hope.
And so, and when we do see this high definition of humans walking on the moon again and like this whole new perspective, do you think that the conspiracy theory gets stronger, like that we didn't do it back then, or do you think it dies out once
that's
they
a
see
great
it's
question.
possible?
That's a
and
good question.
You know, what's your
think,
opinion?
I think it depends. You know, what we need to do is have a lot of missions now, you know, because just going back once ain't going to do it, even maybe going back twice. And by the way, Artemis 2, which is going, they're just orbiting the moon. But it'll be the first time we have 4K cameras in there. They'll have devices. They're probably going to use Starlink, you know,
Yeah.
to communicate with the rest of us in the world. So,
Will they be able to show like the rovers and the stuff left up behind on prior missions?
you know, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, and by the way, I just helped, and I have a call about this tomorrow because I do a lot in London with the Piccadilly screen, and they want to show it in Piccadilly Circus
bet.
as a shared experience for people to come and watch it together too, not just looking at your device, you
Yeah.
know. And so, you know, I mean, we aren't really going to know. But today, actually, I think I saw an announcement that Jared Isaacman, who's the new NASA administrator, is giving, like, all astronauts now are getting a new device, the most cutting edge smartphone to take with them to space, so they can actually capture more and show things in a way they haven't done before. Because when the NASA astronauts normally go, they have to use the cameras they have on board, they have to use this communications. But this is now they're giving them phones, which I'm guessing, this is just my guess, that they may be using Starlink now to be able to, instead of NASA comms, but to be able to use the connectivity that's in space to relay with phones. They've never done that before.
Yeah, it's
Oh my God, get a selfie on the moon to another astronaut, a selfie on the other side of the moon.
yeah. I mean, that's what we're gonna. And then you know,
That's
obviously,
FaceTime.
This
that'd be crazy.
This mission paves the way to eventually walk and and I'm glad I'm gonna see this too. Like and then like even Mars we're gonna see probably in our
Eventually,
lifetime.
yeah,
You know,
What's
and-
interesting too is the quality of the images is almost like, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the ones that they're like in preparation. They're kind of showing other 4K imagery that we do have. And when you look at like really, really good photographs of the moon, it's weird.
Yeah.
There's a weirdness there almost because you don't want to believe it. But
Well,
it's-
Japan had some really incredible orbiting footage of going with their version of Earthrise compared to like
Yeah.
from 68, and it looks unreal. It
Yeah.
looks like a video game, but it is real.
It is real, but it's
Yeah.
just so good that doesn't really help your argument.
No, actually, you're right.
but it is. It's almost like it looks like they've add another crater there and then just put some distress there. And I'm like, no, that's real, man. That's not, nobody did that.
Yeah.
Nobody drew that.
Christina, I saw this on TikTok, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt.
Uh-oh.
But they were claiming that anybody who's gone to space, especially anybody has gone to the moon and was able to look back at the planet Earth, right? That they all had this sense of like immediate, like, oh my God, we're just so small, a speck of dust in this huge universe. And like it immediately put everything in perspective, and they looked at every world problem as petty.
Yeah.
And like,
well, it's kind of like life-changing.
Yeah.
the astronauts you talked to, did they think like that? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and even Buzz, like, first thing he said was magnificent desolation. But even he's like, you and Michael Collins, all of them, I mean, a couple of the guys were crying on the surface of the moon. These are steely-eyed missile men, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like, they were like, wow, everyone who's alive is over there on that little blue dot. You know, and there is just something. And by the way, it's not just that. Even when they go to the space station or anybody goes to space, I think it really drives home like, wow, we're just humans on the same planet. You know, it really drives that home. Now, I will say, because you say they often, you know, you'll hear people say, oh, there's no borders from space. But at night, you can see them. And the really clear one is from North Korea and South Korea.
Yeah. That's eerie.
So that's kind of a different perspective of, and also I heard one astronaut say he used to think the lights at night, like when you're in orbit, because they see sunrises and sunsets every 45 minutes.
Okay.
So they're orbiting the Earth, you know, every 90 minutes
Right.
and 17,500 miles per hour. But they were saying, he said, I used to think lights from the cities was population, and I realized it was wealth, because if you look at Africa, there's 1 billion people there, but it's mostly dark at night.
Yeah.
So there's this really
India,
valuable perspective,
yeah.
you know, you get from space. But yes, I mean, it's an emotional thing. Heck, I get it in an airplane, you know, looking down on Earth. Anybody can get that, the overview effect, which, by the way, was coined by Frank White, who's a good friend of ours. So
That's crazy, man.
What was the hardest part of being astronaut wrangler, do you think?
You know, so to back up, like I sang on Ringo Starr records, like I was hanging out with Aerosmith. So for me, all of a sudden, hanging out with these old dudes who walked on the moon, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But I think it's why they accepted me in their world really quickly. You know, I really tried hard to make Buzz more famous. We did you have to look this up if you haven't seen it. We made a making of rap video with Snoop Dogg back in 2009 for the 40th anniversary of Apollo 11. Look it up. It's awesome. It's on Funny or Die.
Okay, we'll find it. Yeah.
And I'm singing background vocals on the rap song, by the way. The rap song is okay. It's the making of that's awesome.
I love it.
With Snoop, he was awesome. And I, you know, as I made him more famous, it made it like sometimes we were places and people would chase us like he was a Beatle. I mean, and that was kind of interesting to all of a sudden be with this guy who's so famous. You know, he's an icon in the world.
Yeah.
Well, he's history, which is weird. It's one thing to just be a good entertainer, you know. Okay, Justin Timberlake, great singer, boy band, good solo career, but he didn't do anything that nobody else did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're talking about like a one of one, which is very weird.
Well,
you know?
and
or one of maybe how many moon guys do we have?
We only have 12 guys who walked on the
12
moon
guys.
and 24 guys who went to the moon.
Gotcha.
That's super rare.
How did he end up on Ollie G?
Oh my gosh.
How the hell did
You
that
have
happen?
the right person to ask there.
How did the publicist? Were you working with them?
No.
Okay.
So I started January
I was like,
2nd, 2008 was my first day.
Okay.
So that was 2007. I call that BC before Christina. So,
Okay, all right.
but I mean, Ollie G got lots of big names. He got like the head of the CIA. I mean,
It's insane how all that happened. It
doesn't happen as much anymore.
Pre-social media.
Sasha burned it hard, man.
It can.
Yeah.
By the way,
Hot.
it can never happen again ever. The history of time,
Harder,
because we have a way to research everything.
Well, the guards get let down because people don't do their due diligence. So
Yeah, but-
they're up right now, but they'll come back down,
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't-
somebody will slip in there again.
I don't think it's possible to unless you fabricated your whole background on the internet somehow. It'd be impossible to
AI.
Hey, you would be surprised at how many people still don't Google things, or like, or they ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT just makes crap up.
Yeah, it's just
I know.
wrong.
So going back to how that happened with Ali G. and Buzz.
I think it came through like a credible, like, you know, news organization or HBO or something like that. So it was, you know, and by the way, those kinds of interviews, they usually were paid. So they offered them money. So, of course, that's more enticing. Ooh, you get to be paid to do an interview, you know, and especially for someone like astronauts or certain, you know, personalities, that's what they that's what happens.
You do like
sometimes.
speaking events and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, but even interviews. I mean, so for instance, during the 40th anniversary of Apollo 11, Buzz was paid $75,000 to do a 30-minute TV interview in Italy. I found out Neil Armstrong was paid $500,000 for the same thing.
Don't talk about it. Oh my God. Oh,
Damn.
Difference between the first and second.
And then think about all those other guys, because Buzz and Neil are the most famous by far, of all of them. But I mean, so I will say, if you've seen the Ollie G thing, I thought Buzz handled it amazing. He was so patient.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's probably just like old school guy who was like, well, I guess this is what the kids like nowadays. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Allie, what? All right.
And then he's like, this guy's a moron, but he's smart enough to understand that, like, hey, a lot of entertainers are morons and they get popular. So now I'm just talking to a moron. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was easy in that character to get a
Is
good
an
trick.
astronaut like this, Allie G? Like, okay, 75,000. Let's say he's getting paid. You walk in. He knows his mission. His mission is to do the interview.
Yeah. He don't care.
An astronaut is a mission guy, right? So he's like, if you're going to melt down, act crazy, if this is what the kid's like, whatever, I'll just do my astronaut thing and get out of here. Mission accomplished.
Well, and I mean, the thing is, these guys, you have to understand how many interviews they have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That being said, Buzz, the reason I love hanging out with Buzz, he has a great sense of humor. Great. Have you ever saw him on The Simpsons?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Second comes right after first. and we did, 30 Rock. That was hilarious, where we did Transformers together, and that was really fun.
Can we say that you're pretty instrumental to taking the image of him and kind of pushing it in a lot of these places?
Well, it's funny because I always say my rock star lifestyle prepared me for life with Buzz Aldrin. But Nicole, if she was here, she's always the one who says, no, he was an icon. You made him a rock star. Because I did change his dressing, because he looked like a sweet little old man when I met him. I changed the way he dressed. I'm the one who created the Get Your Ass to Mars campaign, if you ever saw all of that.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so I mean, and I have a jacket on, on one of our jackets that says that. And
that's awesome.
So I mean, but I said to him, because when we did the Snoop Dogg thing, he's like, oh, the other astronauts aren't going to like it. I said, who cares? You got to get people like me. You got to get people like me to understand and remember that you walked on the moon if you want us to, listen to you about Mars mission. So that's what I tried my hardest to try to get my own sensibility in my world. And I still try to be that bridge between these worlds, and why I do so much with Nicole is because she sees that too. She sees, okay, we're good partners. She's the astronaut with that credibility. I'm the one who knows kind of how to reach the masses and translate space.
And he must have seen the value in like getting himself out there, and really like that is more than just him personally.
Future
it's
astronauts, man.
But because like you would think of someone like Buzz Aldrin, I imagine would just be like like society's like this is a conspiracy and all this stuff. And you'd be like I'm gonna be by myself at home, live my life. Like I don't care about this anymore. But he kept putting himself out there.
Well,
and,
I'll tell you a funny story. He did Dancing with the Stars, as you may remember.
Yes,
2010.
yes.
And when I got the call for that, and I was like, man, he ain't never going to do that. And then I called him up and I said, hey, Dancing with the Stars wants you. And he's like, okay. I said, you have to dance. And he's like, okay. I took Arthur Murray classes when I was a kid. I said, but you have to dance like every day. He's like, he kept saying, okay. I said, so you're going to do it? He's like, okay. I was like, holy crap, he's going to do it. So I told them yes. But then later he told me, I was just trying to get you off the phone.
That's
typical man. That's a typical man. That's what I do. I do that. I'm like, yeah.
But also, it kind of makes sense because like that's the astronaut personality of like I'm presenting something to you as like I can do it. It's like that can-do
personality. Is there
personality.
confidence that they all sort of have like that?
Well, it was kind of funny because he did it. The only time I've ever seen him nervous, actually, when we were doing Transformers and Michael Bay was sitting there with me because Buzz had a scene with Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
And Michael Bay goes, has he ever been nervous? I said, only on Dancing with the Stars. That was the only time I've ever seen him nervous. Once the cameras came on, then all of a sudden he was like, crap, I'm dancing in front of millions of people.
Pretty pivotal scene,
Yeah. But at the same time, you know what? He loved being around all those young dancers and all those hot dancers. He had me bring in a picture of him when he was like in his 30s, when he had a hot bod and he was a scuba diver. He's like, show him I used to be this hot.
That's awesome.
Look at me. That's awesome.
Christina, personally, what's your favorite thing about space? What are you looking forward to?
I want to go to the moon.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Yourself?
Oh, yeah. I would go in a heartbeat. Yeah. I don't want to go to Mars.
Have you ever wanted to go through there? I guess you can't. Would you try to go privately?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell people all the time, because lots of people want to be serious about even being commercial astronauts. And I'm like, no. I want to be a space tourist.
Yeah.
I want to have fun. I don't want to have to do work. I want to go and have fun in space.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't been offered like even one of the the Blue Origin or anything.
Well, you got to pay for that.
You got to pay for it.
No, but with what she does, I'm surprised that somebody in that world hasn't
Everybody
been like,
knows that I want to go, but everyone thinks I'm just so good at making things happen. They just, I don't know. Hopefully one of these days I'll get there.
But
Yeah, I think that would be killer, man.
What's your opinion on people that like obviously the Blue Origin can't go
The
into
suborbital, yeah.
a suborbital, and then people are like, it's not really space because like everybody's calling Katy Perry an astronaut. And
Yeah.
she's no astronaut. It's like it's funny when people
Well, there's
argue
weird
about
videos with the flowers that like people are like, come on, knock it off.
and not understanding what being in orbit and suborbital means, and like
Well, they're a whole other literal level of space flight. I mean, because the suborbital is literally an 11-minute flight. And by the way, I curate zero gravity flights that you can do with NASA astronauts. And I've done 6 of those. I have another one coming up later this year to do with an Apollo moonwalker and Nicole. And you get more weightlessness on a zero gravity flight than you do on a suborbital flight.
Really?
Yep. And so I say to people, if you don't want to spend millions of dollars, come on a zero-G flight with me.
And that's basically an airplane that just
Parabolas,
goes
yeah.
up and down, and in the down part of it creates a zero-G atmosphere.
Yep,
It's
yep.
like, they call it the vomit comet
Yep,
back in the day,
yep.
And so because you can stay up there longer, you get longer time at zero-G.
crazy.
You get 15 parabolas, although on most of my flights they gave me 17 because I got astronauts on board.
Too free.
But that's the threshold where people are going to get nauseous. That's kind of the point. I have felt nothing. I am ready to go. I want to do 100 parabolas. I'm ready to go. And my
love
kids
it.
have done it too. My son was 7. My daughter was 10. I think my son is the youngest person ever to do a zero gravity.
What?
That's awesome. Well, you're a cool
You're an
mom.
awesome family. Oh my God, that's a hell of a 7. Hey, for your 7th birthday, I'm taking you on the parabola. You're gonna be weightless.
All I got was Chuck E. Cheese,
I
man.
know. I think I got McDonald's. You got to step up.
And-
Chucky's good.
Speaking of the sensation that no one can kind of even imagine what it feels like. You kind of like, okay, you've been down on a roller coaster or you've been on some amusement park ride, you kind of feel weightless for a second, but like being in a controlled environment without wind in your face, being weightless is crazy to me. And
You
like,
got to take
what
your
is-
son, so you got to do the parabolas with your
What's
boys.
the cost, like, just of you're paying for it?
It's like $9,000 to $10,000 a person, so it's not cheap. But I mean, if you want to go to suborbital, you're talking millions. And then if you want to go to orbit, we're talking, tens of millions.
Is Crystal going to want to be
Well-
there? Because it's 30K. It's for you and the boys. It's
Well, if
30.
anybody, I'm doing it myself. I'm not bringing my family. I can't afford that.
Actually, you don't know how many guys I know who are like, yeah, they're not coming, just me.
Yeah. Save the money. Save the money.
And let's remind everybody again.
Yeah, let's
Christine-
do our
Sorry, yeah,
business
we could
No.
probably talk about this all day.
Yeah, no.
And hey, thank you again for being here. And guys, if you want to like kind of dip your toe into this too, and it's going to be better than this because it's going to be a full night of all of this
Yeah.
with cocktails,
Yeah.
with bites to eat, with all of the exhibits. It's going to be great. It's
Yeah.
at the Orlando Science Center, and if you haven't been there, you have to check it out.
Yeah, Science Night Live, OSC.org, and get your tickets. If you're a member, it's
If you remember, it's only $3 to get in.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
So it's a great deal to be a member.
$3.
Yes.
we were saying $5.
I've been saying $5.
Yeah.
It's $3.
All right, 3, 5.
Yeah, it's very
Less
Become a
than the
member.
price of a fast food lunch.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get
yeah.
this
And you get to
experience.
meet an awesome astronaut,
Yeah.
Nicole Stott, who is my
Yep.
favorite. She's an amazing person, amazing earthling, and so
And
come
so are
meet an
you.
astronaut.
You're pretty damn amazing
Oh,
too.
thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being here and for sharing all of your cool jobs with us. We really do appreciate it. It's like one of the strangest weird jobs out of
Yeah.
weird job that we've ever done.
No, 100%. Christina, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jeff, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you,
Jeff.
guys.
You always bring the best people, man.
I know some cool people.
You do know some cool
Your
people,
record
Jeff.
stands. I
Yes.
mean, this guy's
Yeah.
always bringing us an astronaut or an astronaut wrangler or somebody.
Orlando Science Center's cool people. Check it out.
Yep.
OSC.org.
Yeah, we will see you tomorrow. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. We'd love it if you come hang out. We were just doing, we do these like warm-ups to kind of get in the mood of doing the show.
Yeah.
And I will say that if you've never made it for the beginning of the live stream when we just turn the cameras on and we just start messing around.
Yeah, it's better than the show.
Better than the show. It's truly better than the show. The interactions are better. The energy's better.
Yeah.
We like it more. It's like almost as if when we do this, we've created a prison and we know we have. And it's like, all right, go break the rocks. And we're like, breaking the rock. You know.
Yeah. But before the show starts, real funny.
Yeah, there's no leash. There's no leash. Anyway, welcome to the stream, and we're glad to have you. You can find it all at twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. If you are more of a YouTube person, and I know most people are, it's YouTube/@Tom and Dan Live.
We have Science Night Live this weekend. Great date night. It's at the Orlando Science Center.
man.
It's adults only. It's after hours. They have drinks, adult beverages. They got hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah.
They also have
You're
special.
inching into my dad's territory. We have a guest here. Jesse Wolf is here, but I want to bring you into the conversation.
I was intrigued by the hors d'oeuvre.
My dad loved whiskey, and my dad, when he'd have a bit of whiskey, and my dad could not say the word hors d'oeuvre. He would call them hors d'oeuvres.
hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres. Yeah. In fact,
Just call them snacks. What the hell?
Snacks
Tiny
doesn't sound.
snacks.
It doesn't sound nice, right? Snacks.
I like hors d'oeuvres.
hors d'oeuvres. Oh, hors d'oeuvres. Yeah.
Right when I was saying it,
You sounded drunk. You're like, there's going to be drinks there. There's going to be hors d'oeuvres. You pulled it out.
like roll.
Hors d'oeuvres.
It's hard for me to say.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Jesse Wolf's here. How you doing, Jesse?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Entrepreneur, influencer,
Oh.
business advisor. Should I say that?
Yeah, that's probably one of them lately. You know
Shark
what I mean?
wrangler.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about, we used to say Jesse of Odang Hummus, and then I almost feel like it'd be better to say, like, Jesse who's appeared on Shark Tank,
Yeah, there you go.
right? Like, that makes more sense.
Well,
Because he hasn't been linked to the Odang thing in, like, how long?
Yeah, 5 or almost 6 years now. Yeah.
Now, are you like me with your brands? Do you go, like with me and girlfriends, I should rather say, or ex-girlfriends, where once you've exited the brand, you still secretly go there and you look at everything they're doing, you just make sure you don't double tap or harden
Oh,
it.
yeah, of course.
Because that could get you into some sinister trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
But are you floating around, like, looking, like, what are they doing with chickpeas today?
Dude, you know what's strange is, like, at this point in time, like, up before COVID 2020, right? Because I exited Odang in, like, late 2019. I was the hummus guy and the Odang guy, right?
Yes, yeah,
and then, you know, I left, and exited that business and then went on to do Nerdy Nuts, the peanut butter company and all that stuff, like, right after that. But Nerdy Nuts, I kind of sat in the, in the dark. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not going to be the face of this brand. I let the couple that originally founded it build it. And, they were the face. So for me, it was cool to kind of sit back, see, but then I was dumb and I got on social media when TikTok was taking off and became, then I was Jesse, the workout guy and that person. Then I was, starting a couple other brands. So now it's like people are like, hey, you're real Jesse Wolf or you're Jesse Wolf. And I'm like, okay, which category you coming from?
Where do you know me from?
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because now even getting on Tom and Dan, like, yeah, I heard you on Tom and Dan. I'm like, no.
Yep,
kidding.
add it to your category.
There we go.
So it's always like one of those catch-22s now where I'm like, where do you know me from? You know what I mean? Is it social media? Is it business?
True.
Tom and Dan.
And for some young people, it's OnlyFans.
Yeah, well, hey,
You
listen,
know me because of me. I make a little
And-
money with some tasteful news.
we do appreciate the support.
I'm more of a Fansly guy myself. I'm not an OnlyFans guy. I'm more of a Fansly. I don't like showing as much skin.
Yeah, I'm a little more promiscuous on there. So
Okay.
if you subscribe, you see more.
There you go.
Anyway.
There you go.
So, Jesse,
Now we know.
when you're on with us, we always talk about business, jobs. And we got a voicemail. We want to talk to you about. And,
Oh, nice.
help you answer.
Yeah, well, it's actually.
Hopefully it's good.
Well, no, I think this would be perfect.
Okay.
When Tom told me, he's like, "Hey, remember Jesse's coming in today," and it was almost like kismet that we had a listener like leave us a serious job voicemail that I think when you hear this voicemail, I think everybody in our listening audience, everyone can identify with what this guy's going through. So let me get this thing.
This is fun. I like this.
Yeah, no, this is cool, and it literally this is odd that it happened exactly at the same time.
Oh man, we got like a talk show going on.
energy.
Call in.
Yeah,
You know?
it's definitely good energy. Here we
Caller
go.
number 6. What's your
Imagine
issues?
this. I've been working for a company for coming up to 20 years in just a couple of months. And last August, we were told we were getting bought out. I raised my hand. I'm like, what's changing? Are we going to keep our vacation hours? The guy's like, yep, everything's staying the same. You won't even notice a difference. Well, 3 months later, they tell us that in 4 years, we will be losing 37 hours of vacation time. Our guaranteed Christmas bonus is no longer there. It went from we would get $1,200 every Christmas to now anywhere between $0 and $2,500, depending on how well we do. And I said, what's the likely chance we'll get that 25? He said, not anytime soon. Also, whenever we would have a hurricane and we couldn't get to work or the power was down, my job, previously would pay for our time. It wasn't our fault. This new guy said, nope, you're not working, you don't get paid. So with all of that, and then losing, like I said, the 37 hours that, we gained from working there for so long on vacation time, I see a job posting and it says that they are starting people off from $21 to $27 an hour. Like I said, I've been there for almost 20 years. I do the basic work, plus I work on the machines that keep the place running. So I do maintenance work as well, and I also take out the bathroom and kitchen trash for everyone. And I don't make $30 an hour. So that pissed me off a little bit. So I was telling my friend who is the manager and saying I'm going to give an ultimatum. Either give me a raise or, I quit. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. I go in there, I tell my boss, we'll just call that other person G. I go in there, I tell my boss, I'm like, hey, are you going to be doing evaluations? If not this year, then I'm gonna be looking for another job. And she asked why, and I gave her all those reasons. I'm like, I feel underappreciated here. And she goes, oh, well, G said she wants you to be her right-hand man when she becomes floor supervisor. So you were going to be up for that promotion. Couldn't G have given me a little bit of heads up that she, told them that she wanted me? So I did give the ultimatum, and I might be getting that promotion.
All right. What a long...
Yeah,
I
there's a lot
asked
going
long
on there.
questions.
My God.
That was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster. It really was.
Yeah, that wasn't the ending I was expecting.
Too many details, sir.
Yeah.
Questions are too long. My God. Get to the point. So, Jesse.
That's going to be cut out and used against you so many times. So many times.
I have, theories on this that it makes a lot of people mad, and I want to ask you about this because when you work for a company for a long period of time and there's that loyalty,
I did
right?
it, yeah.
And,
I'm one of those guys.
And
no, I was. I'm being dead serious.
I thought you were talking about this job.
No. I'm not loyal to this. Oh my God.
Dan walks out.
So the loyalty is an emotional tie.
Yeah.
And so but it also is valuable for businesses to have loyal employees that have been there a long time.
Critical.
But sometimes it's more valuable in the employee's mind than it may be in the business's mind, because at the end of the day, it's a business, and the business only should care about the bottom line. Obviously, there's people involved, but so then that battles each other with emotional versus bottom line.
Well, the business isn't a human, so why is it being expected to show a characteristic that's human? That's how I kind of look at it.
Managers are human, though.
Yeah, but they're part of the entity, right? The entity is there to only make money and steal souls, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what it's there for.
And I'll tell you, man, this is a great question, especially in today's
I
society.
have to put the camera on you legally when somebody has a great question. Okay, camera's on.
Camera's
Jesse.
on.
There we go.
And rolling. There is, in my mind, I've gotten to a place finally in my career over the last, 5 years or so where I got a rule internally, and I learned this from a mentor a long time ago. I don't work with assholes. And I refuse to. I don't have to anymore, And what that means is basically there's two ways of running a business, in my opinion. There's the kind of roll with the ruthlessness and we're going to build at all costs. And that is a way to build a business, and it's very turbulent, and it can be painful. And then the other side of it is, well, nice people finish last, right? And you watch, some of these businesses kind of build, and they get ran over by their team, they get ran over by their vendors, they get ran over by, their customers, and it happens. And when they're, over my career so far, I've learned that you got to ride right down the middle there. You know what I mean? And I'm a good person. I'm not a nice person. You know what I mean? That's kind of the footprint I go on. In our brands that we build,
why are you pointing a gun at me? It's such an awkward thing to do.
It was a metaphorical gun,
You scared me.
No.
I thought you were right on.
I thought you were a nice guy.
Jesus Christ. He looks at me, he's like, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
When I'm angry.
Yeah, in business, I will BF you.
But you kind of have to be. But the thing is, like in this situation, I can almost read plain as day the transition that guy just went through.
Yeah.
And he had, obviously, the guy built a great business. He sold it, right? Someone else either came in, called a private equity firm or a bigger company and bought him out.
Happens all the time.
It happens all the time, and they're rolling it up under, a bigger, entity, if you will. And that transition, they're usually rough. I mean, I've seen nightmares after nightmares, those kind of acquisitions like that. And what sucks is, you got a guy who's 20 years loyal, to that company. And then during that transition, they didn't take time, you can kind of tell from his explanation, to kind of go through that workforce and be like, hey, who are you? What did you do here? What did you like to do here? What do you want to do here? Right? And even just taking that to kind of understand the team you're inheriting, it's critical. Right? Instead, they kind of
call that synergistic inventory.
You know what? I like that.
You have to, when you come into a business,
I like that.
You have to, because what are we really in the business of, guys? We're in the business of human beings, okay?
Well, but I like that. That's actually a great word because, there's a delicate dance of you got to run the business, and the business has to be profitable for everyone to retain their jobs, right? You want a promotion, you want a raise, the business has to make money, and we have to grow for everyone to get promotions and raises, right? But in the same sense, in today's society, there's times when you see these businesses, look at Starbucks, right? Where people are like, hey, I want $30 an hour to work at Starbucks. That's, in theory, I get it. I know where you're kind of coming from, but is it sustainable for a Starbucks that makes $800,000 a year to pay its entire staff $30 an hour, right? Like at some point in time, you hit a cap level of what that business truly can pay no matter what. So it really is this delicate dance of, you'll see, like for me, our team is everything. We come in, everyone's treated well. That's very important to us. We have our big thing is we want failure. It's kind of ironic at the high level, but we want you to come in and feel like you could try things and do things, and if it doesn't work, you're not getting fired for it.
I mean, if you want failure, I got your guys. I got two guys for you.
Yeah, exactly. Come on board, boys. You know what I mean? But our big thing is don't repeat the failures, right? And then that's where you kind of draw that line in the sand. Like if we're having the same conversations over and over again, you're missing the point here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for this guy here to kind of call in and give us the transition story there, and then ultimately go, yeah, I got a raise. Fantastic. Where I see that as the leadership kind of dropped the ball coming in there because they could have avoided the whole disgruntled employee piece of it by coming through and going, who are you? How long you been here? What do you want to do here? What was right? What was wrong? What do you want to see us do? And then they kind of lay down what I call their expectations. Here's our plan. You know what I mean? We bought the company for X. Our goal with the team that's here is we're going to take it to, Y. Right?
Yeah.
Are you on board? Here's how we're going to do it. And to me, I mean, from what we got from him, at least, they didn't explain that at all. It just kind of came in, was a takeover, then went right to work instead of kind of getting everybody on the boat and rowing in the same direction, with a new boat in essence.
I mean,
right?
Tom took a synergistic inventory of our client, of our like the people that worked here.
Yeah.
Our employees. And much like Elon did with X when he bought it, you had everyone email you a list of what they do day to day. And they fired everybody. Yeah. He's like, fire them all. Fire them. I don't care.
I got a lot of empty emails.
Joke's on you. Didn't read the email.
Joke's on you.
I'll do everything myself and drive myself crazy. I hate my job and my life.
Yeah.
That'll fix it.
All right, so it turns out these 5 emails came in. I can do all this work now. This is what needs done on a daily basis.
So, Jesse, and I know that this is kind of okay, because the way that I saw a person in my life navigate companies and work from one company to another and work their way up is Andrea, Daniel's wife.
Yeah.
And,
she's still doing that actively.
And what she's done, and it's almost counter culture and the fact of what we know of, like working for a company, like working hard for a company, working your way up, and then finally you get a pay, like they recognize that you get higher positions, blah blah blah.
I think she looked at it like a video game.
She
it's smart.
Leveling up.
When she worked for a company, and then she'll just put out feelers and put out resumes to other companies to see if what the.
No, she's always doing that.
Always, constantly. And and by the way, you are allowed to do this as an employee.
She doesn't tell people she does it, but I mean, I think actively in the back of her mind, and I think this is how she's wired.
I was told in radio, in fact, the only way you get raises by an old manager. They're like, as soon as your contract period, the 6 months that we give you in your contract period, shop yourself out, see what the market is for you, and then if you get a higher offer, come to us with that offer, and then we have to match it, or you leave to go ahead. And that's the only way we give people raises around here, and it made perfect sense. It's like, okay, it takes a lot of effort to do that, but constantly putting your resume out there and seeing what the market is for you will give you an idea of what you're worth. Because that's another thing too. People will be like, I'm worth more money, and then the company, and guess what? The boss is like, well, are you? Because you haven't proved to me that you are. Because
that drives me bananas, dude.
When someone does that.
Dude, like so we had a person who's unfortunately no longer with the business that we're working on this over here. We literally hire the guy, and about, I don't know, 2 weeks into his role, right? And we were like, here's the job, here's everything's, pay, et cetera, KPIs, you name it. Bonus structure. Yep, love it, I'm on board. Got it. 2 weeks in. I'm going to need a raise. I'm like, you've been here 2 weeks, brother.
That's some balls.
Yeah, I was like,
I wish I had those balls.
I know.
Sometimes I do wish I had those, because there are things that would work in. Yeah. Not in this case. Yeah. But in other ways, I feel like, oh, man.
That was like one of my first times where I was like, wow. I was like, okay. I'm like, we went through like 3 weeks of a hiring process, 2 weeks of this training process. I'm like, you haven't even hit the production floor. Truthfully on your own. I was like, where is this coming from? He goes, well, I know my talents and my abilities. I think I'm worth more. And I'm like, well, that would have been great to discuss at the hiring process.
Once we settle on the salary, like you ain't coming in here for at least 1 year. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that should be even too soon.
Well, so I it was like, listen, this is interesting. So let's entertain this, right? So I was like, tell me why, you know what I mean? Straight, Baxter, tell me what, And so he goes on this bender about, well, this is all I can do. And I'm like, well, let's do this. Let's run the current contract we got you in on. Give me 3 months. Show me what you can do. If you got there and you can exceed everything. I was like, I kind of feel like you're sandbagging me here a little bit,
Yeah.
And so he's like, we went back and forth. So ultimately he agreed to that. And
let me guess, did not do it.
Spoilers. Turn your radio off now.
Spoiler work.
Didn't impress you by his ultimate work.
2 months he put in his resignation. I was like, okay, well, this went the opposite direction of what I thought it was going to do. So it's very fascinating. But what I'll say is, going back to your wife, man, I don't fault anyone. And again, remember, I worked corporate at one point in time before I went, full entrepreneur. Jump. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong. If you're good at what you do, go get the money you deserve. And I've had it to where I've had phenomenal team members come to me over the years and be like, hey, look, I got this offer. I remember, and I can't say the company, I remember I had one of my guys come to me. It was in a booming startup that we were building. And we were thumping just like crazy, huge on social media, et cetera, et cetera. And he got an offer from a very big established, emerging brand.
Fansly.
Yeah.
Fansly. Yeah. Love me some fans.
Yeah. He went independent. Anyways. And I was like, hey, I can't match that salary. I'm like, ultimately this is the best we could do with where we're at today. Here's the benefit of potentially staying with us. I put my sales cap on to try to keep the guy.
Yeah.
But I looked at him and go, at the end of the day, the title they were offering him, which was a compliment to us, because like the fact that they believe that you can do that job based off of your work with us, that to me was, kind of this backhanded kind of compliment.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, damn, like we really
This is a good hire.
Yeah, well, I mean, I took this person literally from, basically a assistant manager at a retail clothing store to a COO position. Is ultimately, is ultimately what they got hired for. And
that's a huge deal.
It was a huge deal. And I said, you got to go. I was like, I can't offer that today, and this is crazy.
But that also goes with your credo not to give you a compliment of no a-holes.
Well, that's it.
Because it works both ways. It works with you working with them, and you also giant reminder to not be one.
Well, and at the end of the day, I have an obligation as a manager. At the end of the day, as a manager, right? I don't care what level manager. My job is to build a winning team, right? And my job is building that winning team is to develop the people underneath me. And my goal is to get you to replace me so that I can climb. Right?
Yeah.
What happens sometimes is as I'm building you, hopefully to replace me, you are, and I don't blame you, you're out shopping, seeing, hey, what's out there? If you get a crazy offer, man, again, I did my job. It sucks. It doesn't help me at all, but I'm not going to stop you or inhibit your career growth. I hope you go on. And that person went on and he killed it and is doing phenomenal. So, I mean,
that's a great story.
Yeah. I mean, and going back to this guy, I mean, the one thing I'll say to him is, and anybody listening right now, don't wait 20 years. Right? I mean, loyalty's great, but if you're there to kind of just, I don't. Some people don't like to jump.
Thank you for bringing it back to the question too, because I know this guy listens daily. He's going to want an answer to this.
Well, and listen, some people are just, I like my job, I like where I work, I want to get the best I can out of this situation. I got a friend in the same thing. He's worked for a very large defense company here in town.
Is it Fansly?
It is. It's called onlyrockets.com.
That's good.
Google that one.
Yeah, man.
And it's the same thing. He's been there, almost I think 15 years now. It's the only job he's ever had out of college.
Wow.
He's good at it, but had he tried to leave, and go anywhere else, his salary would probably be $100,000 more than what it is today.
Yes, yeah.
But he hasn't because he really genuinely appreciated the job and the people, and he was good with what he made. So there's kind of two creeds there. If there is a time and place where you shouldn't wait 20 years to push on pay bumps, because what happens is then you get to this point where you're frustrated and you're mad at the current ownership when it's like, well, maybe you should have pushed for a raise harder, every 5 years.
And now it's hard for them to give you a $20,000 a year raise where you should be. And they could have given you a $3,000 a year raise every year.
Maybe you'd be at $33 today.
It's how you steal a motorcycle at a motorcycle factory.
One bolt at a time.
This guy knows.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, though.
I mean, what would you say to somebody, and I think he was joking, but, like EJ is in there, and he's like, thanks a lot for telling me now.
Yeah.
I've been here for 23 years. EJ, I don't honestly, and I'll be honest, you and I had this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do. I've known you for 20 years, and I consider you one of the greatest friends of the show, and I love you. You're one of my favorite people.
You told me you numbered papers one
I don't
time.
know what you do, man. I don't know what you do.
That's dangerous. You are playing a dangerous game where if all you do is number papers.
Do you know what AI? Do you know what it's capable of?
Are you insane?
Yeah.
It can almost do my job right now. Create comedy.
We don't know what he does. So he's mad.
We're all cooked.
But I thought, I honestly don't know what he does.
So Jesse, another thing too that a lot of people do themselves a disservice by doing is they, like, let's say you're staying at a company, you're loyal to that company, everything's comfortable, which all humans strive for comfort, right?
Well, agreed.
And
right,
we want to be in a place that's solid. You're like, hey, I know this boss. He's known me for 20 years. I've done a lot for this company. He knows what I put in. I'm good. That boss could sell just like this guy,
or get fired or take a new job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of it, right?
And then when that new person comes in or that new owner, all of a sudden you are now zero again.
Well,
you are nobody to that person.
Yeah.
It happens with us on the client side of things.
Yeah.
The number one way we lose clients is lose a relationship.
You lose. It's a new person. We call it new person at the desk, right?
Yeah.
You get a new person at the desk, and that happens in my job every single week as well. I'll be calling on these big grocery stores or whatever partnerships, and someone retires, moves, takes a new job, and I get a new person, and they hate you. For whatever reason, they come in and you're, it's a creek, man. You're really trying to figure out how to, win that person back, or now you got to figure out how to navigate that relationship. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where don't get comfortable. Like, as much as, like, we take it for granted, like, I love my job and I love my boss and I love my team, it could change at any day.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so, I mean, at the end of the day, I appreciate the loyalty. I commend the loyalty, you know, going back to EJ and his career. It's not too late, dude. You know, 23 years, you're not retired yet. You know, but you got to play catch up.
You'd
now.
have to see him.
I mean, he's damn near.
You have to look at him. Yeah.
I mean, it's close.
When you look at him, he is the epitome of a 2026 Willie Loman. Hopefully, kids still understand that
So,
reference.
Jesse, I want to talk about two things
Okay.
with you, and it's trends and how.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say trans. Oh, this is going to go so crazy. Trans.
We're starting with vaccines.
Trans or
We're going to
trends?
do abortion vaccines and trans
So,
with a dash of Obama. Just,
Oh, yeah.
so let's talk the first one, because when and we've all seen this, and the alcohol market,
Yeah.
and what's been happening, and all the stories behind alcohol sales, and how new generations of potential drinkers are not drinking as much. They're more health conscious. The alcohol's not part of their lives like it was in our
They got
lives in the 90s.
big orexia.
Yeah, alcohol marketing is not what it was,
Yeah.
because it's so diluted out there that, and you know, and
Back in our day, all it took was Snoop Dogg saying St. Ides, and I was like, I
want a gold slogger done.
there's certain rules on alcohol marketing that actually hinders alcohol companies, like
Yeah.
social media rules. Anyway, so it's a problem, and it doesn't seem like the pendulum is going to swing back anytime soon.
Yeah.
So what do you think the alcohol companies do in the next 20 years? Just start downsizing crazy?
You know, it's funny because one of the brands we're on has an alcohol like product, if you will. It's a mixer, if you will, that goes
Yeah.
on it. And I've been watching it like a hawk for the last couple of years, and it for sure is swinging, you know, the opposite direction right now, which is fascinating. The problem, here's what's the bigger problem as a whole, is, you know, the CPG, so that's consumer products. So whether it's food, snacks, alcohol, you name it, holy shnikes, is it diluted. I mean, it's diluted like crazy.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
like everything, kind of like there's so many options.
Oh my God. It's, you know, podcasts, right? There's a ton of people trying to do podcasts.
Well, it's never been easier, and this is, I mean, this word, the P word, producing anything.
Yeah.
You can produce.
Anything.
If you need to
Yeah.
produce anything right
Yeah.
now, it's never been a better time to make your stuff
You can
happen.
package stuff a lot easier than it was 20 years ago.
It's so easy. You know what I mean? I mean, it's crazy. You can start a brand right now, and I don't care if it's a food product or you're pulling something from overseas, you know, thanks to like Alibaba and all that. I mean, you know, it's crazy. I mean, how diluted.
Logos are easy to make.
Oh,
everything. Jingles. You can have a jingle logo website. But
Yeah.
I mean, one person without even that much tech knowledge could do all this stuff.
Yep.
Like, I'm at the point where I can get close to doing it, but
Yeah.
that's scary.
Well,
Well, I mean, you sell yourself short, though. You've got enough brand awareness and creativity to dominate. You know what you're doing.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, 100%.
20 years ago to create a website and a
Oh.
logo and
have done it.
and
Couldn't
you know,
done it.
I mean,
It's an impossible task.
It would take me 6 months.
Easy,
I could do
easy.
it in a weekend
it-
myself.
literally-
pennies on the dollar.
For
Yeah.
pennies on the dollar. I mean, you can launch an entire business for probably sub $1,000 right now.
Yeah, man, that's
Logos,
crazy.
websites, everything. I mean, you're turning on Shopify. You're on a retail front.
And if your
I mean,
idea is good enough, you can actually make a little chunk, right?
Oh,
Like-
I'll tell you right now. You can today, right now, if you had a weekend and just you don't even have to have an idea anymore. You go to chat GPT and like, give me 10 ideas.
Yes, yeah,
Pull
yeah.
one. I guarantee you, you're making $100,000 within 12 months on it. Now, is it sustainable? Is it profitable? That's a different story. But it will generate money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
bust your damn ass doing it.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah. But I mean, that's how easy it is to get an idea off the ground, which sucks to some degree because there's a lot of people that just don't understand. Like, there's an old school kind of thought here where it's like when you meet an entrepreneur, you can tell their experience level. If they go, oh, I've got an idea, but I can't talk about it, they're a rook. If you got one that walks in the room and is like, yo, here's 3 ideas, I'm stewing on these things, they're driving me nuts. That's a seasoned pro. You want to know why? Because it's all about execution.
Yeah.
That's
He
what
knows the
separates-
idea is worthless.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, take the idea. I'll meet you at the track. We'll race, baby, and I'm going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know what it takes, and that's what's diluting everything right now. Is there's a lot of startups and there's a lot of new stuff. And the problem is, it's not just the average Joe. It's a lot of the influencers that have decent money and decent followings.
Prime.
I mean, think about how many brands have launched in the last 2 years that are alcohol brands alone. I mean, it's crazy how saturated that category is becoming. So, circling back to it, the space is definitely in trouble, but I think there needs to be a new kind of level of storytelling. Obviously, it's getting hammered from a health standpoint. Drinking's bad, smoking's bad.
Yeah.
What if we started telling people it just wasn't that bad?
Well, yeah, but you
That's
know,
the marketing.
Write that down. Write that down.
so you know what's funny? You know what did that recently? Sugar.
Oh, really?
Think about sugar. Sugar was the devil in 2016.
Yeah.
Right? No carbs, no carbs. What do you see low carb anymore? What do people want? They want real food. Well, what's real food? What's real food? Real food, I don't want
Well,
fake
according
sugar.
to Mike Tyson, it's an apple.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that Mike Tyson commercial was the best.
By the way,
Hey, you fat. You know?
Tom won.
Disgusting.
We came in with our favorite commercials. I gave him mine, which
Yeah.
was the Chris Helmsworth Alexa commercial. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And he crushed me with the Mike Tyson one. That's such a better ad. And the fact that it is with Make America Healthy Again.
Yeah.
It's with old crazy cuckoo banana ate a bear worm in his brain. Robert Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then RFK. And then he says in there, he goes, I was so fat and nasty.
Yeah, oh,
He
that's good,
says
dude.
that. He
Yeah.
says that in
I
an
was so fat and
ad.
nasty.
In an ad to get your kids not fat.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson said, listen, I was so fat and nasty. And I started spitting my
Dude, hey, my girlfriend sitting next to me, she's like, I feel offended and called out at the same time. I was like, she's like, we're at a Super Bowl party eating snacks, and you hit me with that.
You're eating nacho cheese, so fat and nasty.
Yeah.
Fat and nasty.
I think they time travel 25 years ago and be like, one day Mike Tyson's going to be marketing apples to you.
And they eat it all crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And they try to tie it in with like him biting an ear.
Yeah.
We're not idiots here. I know what you're doing.
I
but,
see right through this.
So,
but again, going back to sugar, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know that's funny. Sugar today, everybody wants real sugar. Look at Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola's like, oh, and it's weird. You know, it's funny we brought up that commercial because now it's as long as it doesn't have dyes, it's good for you.
God, my daughter knows that. That is working so well that I'll be drinking
the anti-dye?
I'm drinking one of these Mountain Dews.
Yep.
And this is the Zero Mountain Dew Baja Cabo Citrus that I'm madly addicted to. And my daughter, she goes, "Has that got red number 5 in it or what?"
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "It's got red number 5 in it." And I'm looking, I'm like, "I don't even know what the hell that is."
If anybody tells me that dye causes our kid to go crazy, I will be like, okay. Just know that I do not believe you in my brain.
Well, it's made its way to my 10-year-old.
But they're working on it. I mean, that's what's happening. So
Where did she get it from?
When my wife tells me that, I'm like, oh,
it's crazy to see
Another silence.
that this stuff is circling back to where it's like, oh my God, sugar. I don't say sugar's good for you.
No.
But sugar's not bad anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what's going to happen is the alcohol space is going to do the same thing where they're gonna kind of fight the fight for the next couple of years. Then they're gonna, if they're smart, the big brands, they're gonna start kind of telling this storytelling opportunity, and that's a new career that's popping up like crazy.
Have they?
Is the storytelling?
Yeah.
The
moderation, the social aspect of it, because it's like, hey, you know what kills more people than alcohol? Depression,
Yeah,
and
loneliness. Yeah.
Oh, the loneliness thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I should
Yeah,
be
you're
big
not
marketer.
celebrating enough. You need to go out and celebrate. I mean, that's exactly what they're going to start
I was
doing.
just watching an ad, and it was a clever one because it tied in. It even wove in some Americana. It was, and I believe that company is what's
OnlyFans.
No, it's a whiskey company. Who makes Traveler? That's the big one that Tracy's husband likes. I'm blanking on the name of it. It's a weird whiskey name,
right.
but it's the one that Tracy's husband Mike loves the most. And they did a Chris Stapleton Traveler whiskey ad.
Yep.
And this is how they framed it. It was great. Buffalo Trace. That's the name.
Okay,
Yeah.
got
It's
it.
the Buffalo. I think Buffalo Trace owns it. They had him playing the national anthem in the background, and they didn't frame it like he's partying. They framed it like he'd just gotten off stage performing the national anthem, something like really big, really powerful, really important, maybe one of the most important moves of your life.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he was able to sit and gather his thoughts, reflect, sip a little Traveler whiskey.
Yeah.
Because that's the reframe, right? It's
Yep.
not party, then it's more like, no.
Moderation.
Savor.
Yes,
Celebrate.
savor, sit in the moment, be present.
And that's what sugar did, right? Sugar's
Yeah.
like, whoa. Watch your consumption, but if you're going to drink a beverage, use real sugar.
Yeah, all right.
Right, right. I see
that's
what you're saying.
And that's exactly what alcohol is going to start doing. Hey, guys, we don't need benders, but let's celebrate. You deserve
Yeah.
it. You earn it. And, it's that human connection.
Yeah.
Because we're missing that as a society. Everyone knows that,
And for sure, we're all here to get out of here. If something can screw you up a little bit or make you relaxed or like
People
put
want
you in a
it,
different
yeah.
mind frame, like that's not going anywhere.
No.
Like drugs,
Yeah.
I say drugs loosely in that category, have always been a part of society. It's just probably too big of a part alcohol was, and it'll probably get nichier. Right?
Listen to this. This is what's fascinating, talking about trends. So I saw this, thing kind of coming through the last few weeks here, and I've been kind of deep diving it. Do you know what they're calling it, the trend right now? The new status of wealth is?
What?
Health. You could fake a
Oh,
handbag.
wealth is health. Hold on.
Yeah.
Write that down. Write that down. I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Billionaire, quadrillionaire. So you could fake a handbag, you could fake a Rolex, you could fake rich. You can't fake being ripped. Can't fake being in shape. So they're saying that this whole, along with health, there's discipline.
I can't just. I've done it.
Yeah, no idea.
It's called Adderall, testosterone. You can do it.
Hold
all.
on, let me write that down. Adderall. So that's the trend they see coming, and that goes back to like being disciplined with everything you do. So this whole I could have sweets, within my my discipline of my weekly progress. I can drink, and I should drink, but we're going to be responsible about it, and we're going to be celebratory about it. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for occasions,
Yeah.
or, moments.
Almost what they're selling there too, and I kind of buy into it. I see what they're doing is almost like they're selling the ceremonial aspect of alcohol. Marijuana does this too, where they kind of sell the ceremonial aspect of it. Like it's more than just you're smoking a joint, or more than just you having a glass of whiskey. It's about getting out the whiskey. It's about selecting the correct glass. It's about maybe using your smoke machine to smoke it, or or make an old fashioned with an ice cube that's completely clear. And you know what I mean? Like they kind of sell the process of it almost like you're in the moment, like it's a hobby,
experiential.
I love that.
But
that's where it's going.
But they'll have to deconstruct the manufacturing of the quantity of alcohol that we've started producing, right? Like, and then that would just slowly, get smaller.
It's supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
So again, when things are harder to get, what do we all want as human nature? We want it, right?
Yeah.
So, and you're watching, I think it was Maker's Mark just shut down one of their distilleries, quote unquote, in the news like 2 or 3 months back.
I remember that.
Yeah, they didn't shut it down as in out of business. They just cut production back, right? Because they didn't need to run all that whiskey.
They can just repurpose it too. Like some of these places, like let's say you had another factory out west that's not your main one. You make that the factory tour.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one's producing it. Now this one does retail, or it's an experience. I've seen some of that happen.
That's a big thing right now is, again, what can Maker's Mark, right, going back to that point right there, they can offer tours. Well, how cool is that? Now
Blending experience.
I get to go out with my buddies for our 40th birthdays, and we're doing the whiskey trail, and now we're at Maker's Mark. Now we're making memories, which is cool. We're not binge drinking, at a bar, getting hammered every Sunday, morning.
You're just pivoting.
Yeah, you're just reframing what you're doing.
I
right?
will say I miss the get drunk till you puke Pinnacle vodka day. Can we get a little love? Pinnacle vodka and all of it. I just want to pour out a little bit for Pinnacle vodka and all of its extreme douchebag flavors.
The whipped cream.
They had all the D-bag flavors. If you wore
I can
Razzle
literally
jeans,
smell that right now as we're talking.
if you owned a credit union in the early 2000s and wore Razzle jeans and pointy boots, you love Pinnacle vodka. You loved it.
So, along with that thought, Jesse, I just saw a story about Twin Peaks, a local sports bar that people are familiar with, filed for bankruptcy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's kind of no surprise if you think about it. But what I did start to think about is obviously the Twin Peaks, the Hooters, the wing houses, the pretty girl waitresses serving alcohol in a sports
Lingerie Friday.
Obviously it has they gone down in popularity and the stigma of it, but like men will always be horny, and I feel like they were, you know what I'm saying? Like that
So
ain't
you're
going
saying
anywhere.
keep one. Is that your argument?
So obviously, with this market being shut down essentially or going away, I'm like, what will replace it?
Yeah.
Because there always will be a market, I feel like, for good-looking waitresses selling alcohol and chicken sandwiches and wings at a sports bar, right?
I will.
Or no?
I will forever, and maybe it's just my age, I will forever love a chicken sandwich and an attractive waitress. I will never not like
But
that.
I haven't been
just
going.
my
I will never not like that. I will
Dude.
never. That's just like I was born into that.
Yeah.
The chat room is saying that the Tampa area Hooters have never been more popular.
Well,
That
listen,
they're crushing.
and you know why? I'm telling you, because in Hooters,
Good novelty.
it's 90s. It's back,
Okay,
right?
all right.
Like the thing about the Hooters era, because I was like you. As a kid, you're like, I remember when my dad took me to my first Hooters. I'll never forget it. I was like 13, Denver, Colorado, man. And I walked in that place and it was like, I was like, am I allowed to even be in here?
You know what? Here's something crazy. It was the first time that, as a young boy, or
Okay,
like a
hold
young
on,
man,
hold on. Before you say this,
Yeah.
do you guys both remember your first Hooters restaurant
Yes,
experience?
yeah.
Okay, so I want to hear both.
I
Let's go.
remember my second one.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear it.
I remember that it was the first time that I was like, I think those are fake boobs. And I had to do the math in my brain, like, wow, where did she go to get that done?
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
How old were you?
That I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I had an incredible urge to run to the 7-Eleven and buy a rose for every woman in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Tom?
So I had to be in early teens because it's Miami.
did.
So like I don't remember there being a Hooters because we had Sports Grill and stuff like that. Local Miami sports.
You don't
restaurants.
need orders. We have sports.
But
You don't need orders. You don't need orders.
So like they were hot waitresses, but now it wasn't about. There's also like old Cuban men. The third job. Anyway, but my buddy's
It's sweat coming
dad
out.
took me and my friend to Hooters, and again, I was like, "Am I even old enough to be here?"
Right.
Because it's like
You're right.
and especially in the '90s, it was like
It
presented
was Jeff
as.
Burney's dad. You're 100% unlocking a
Yeah.
memory for me. It was
Yeah.
my buddy Jeff Burney's dad.
And then I remember, like, am I going to tell my mom I was here?
Oh, I know,
Like, are they
yeah.
going to let kids in here? It's like, but
Are they going to touch me?
I want that. I wish I got molested.
Are they going to pull my pants out and
I know
spank
this
me
man.
like a bad boy?
Do you understand that a 14-year-old Tom Van?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
It would not be a crime if you molested me as any woman molested
Hey,
me. I'm telling you. I promise.
No, remember that movie Milk Money back in the day?
I was a POS
I
kid.
do remember the movie.
We were all Milk Money back then,
Yeah.
where it's like your buddies got together to pay the prostitutes.
Exactly. Jesse knows.
Yeah.
That's why you're allowed in our studio.
Yes.
So obviously, it's just the amount of restaurants go down, but then the popularity goes up, supply and demand. So there'll still be, it'll still live. It just can't be. as
Listen,
many.
I think there becomes a point where, again, this goes back to saturation. We
Yeah.
have so many options out there, right? Right now, restaurants,
Yeah.
you name it. When you lose something you didn't realize you had, you get mad, right? So, like, for instance, we had a Red Lobster out here. It's gone. Guess what I've craved more now than ever? There's one Red Lobster in all of Orlando.
yeah.
And I'm like, son of a gun, there's no Red Lobster. Now I'm like, I wish I would have went to that one more. It's that classic thing. So, like,
Bahama Breeze just
Bro, same thing.
announced that they're closing all the doors.
and
When are you going to go for your anniversary? He's got nothing now.
I like being inside the Bahamas in Ultima.
It's literally, I love it. It's like being inside Jimmy Buffett's house inside a mall.
My favorite's walking out of the front porch and seeing a quadruple intersection. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like, the Caribbean looks weird.
Yeah, the Caribbean's got angry drivers.
Oh, that boat over there has got a shirtless man riding a crotch rocket.
Anything else, Jesse, you want to throw out
Holy
before? And tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Hooters? No, I'm just.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, can we do a live taping from Hooters?
Yes. I'd love to do
Let's
that.
do
We need to have Hooters advertised with us.
Yeah.
My God.
Dude, I love Hooters.
can do an events at
I
Hooters.
stopped talking about it because my daughter loves Hooters. I love Hooters. My wife loves Hooters. My
Hooters
whole
is a family place.
My whole family goes to Hooters like all the time, and I stopped talking about it. I said I want to work with Hooters. We're the Hooters podcast, and they're, Daniel's Dan is joking. I'm not.
Yeah.
I know, it's so easy.
Dude, I think we can bring Hooters back.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the world
Raise
needs
your
it.
hand if your daughter's ever hula hooped with a Hooters girl. Me. No one else can say that.
Dude, it's nostalgic. It's good for the soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like their chicken wings.
Dude, their food is fire.
And curly fries. Here's something that's
with cheese sauce.
Here's
With
something-
cheese sauce.
You gotta have the cheese sauce, but something that's underappreciated. The curly fry not seasoned.
Yeah.
It's an unseasoned curly fry. It's just salt and pepper. Very simple.
Now, do 2026 Hooters waitresses put in the work, if you know what I'm saying?
I think in Tampa they do. I've heard very good
do they
things.
sit down in the booth with me? Do they put a heart on my receipt?
Did you hear about the uniform?
I need all that. You see?
Did you hear about the uniform? I think that Ryan will correct me in the chat room. I'm pretty sure they updated the uniform to make it skimpier.
Yes.
I swear to God. I swear to God, I think that's a real thing. And they do the whole thing. They draw the heart on the check. They sit in the booth. They talk to you. They put their hand on your leg.
Yeah.
You know, I think
They don't make you feel stupid when you wear Umbros in there.
you know what Hooters would do if they were smart, honestly? This would just crush, I think, to some degree. They really need to go after the female at this point in time because girls' night. It's a restaurant full of girls. Get girls' night in there. You know, get the women behind it finally, instead of being like before where it's kind of like a boys' club. You know what I mean? I think you could really pop Hooters off,
Can't
making
do
it more.
Not enough Tampa. You better call Roto Rooter.
Yeah,
You're going to
yeah,
have a backup.
Yeah.
You ever been in a ladies' restroom? Looks like a bomb went off.
Yeah. You start getting with Gen Z in there. You don't want the old millennials like my old lady. Stinking it up.
Well,
The
all
old
the
perverts.
all the girls, they're all nerdy. They're not drinking. They're not having sex anymore. I don't want my wife hanging out with anybody like that. I need sex and drinking.
Jesse, thanks so much. What's your handle again?
It's real Jesse.
What's your
Wolf.
handle again? What's your CB radio
Yeah.
name?
Hey, I used
What
to-
are you? Are you half pint?
Big
was my dad.
rodeo one? That was it.
My dad's CB radio handle was half pint.
I like that. I used to have a CB radio in my first truck. It was awesome.
I wanna put
We
one
should
in my
bring those
Tesla.
back, dude.
I wanna put a CB
Oh, you
radio-
gotta have dual whips on it though, mandatory.
I want the super powerful one that you see sometimes on people's cars, and you're like, that guy's prepared for the end of the world.
Yeah, you get the single magnetic whip that's 9 feet long on the back. You know,
I want the
tennis ball.
one that's got the coil on it that's so big it messes with people's pacemakers.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
As you pass
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, hey, hit me up if you got any questions.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for being here, buddy.
I love you guys. Appreciate
we
it.
love you too, man. And we will be right back. Or we
Yes,
won't.
we will.
We will. Yes, we will.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. If you watch podcasts, which is like a thing now, we'd like it if you come over and like and subscribe ours. Just search for @TomandDanLive. Tons of people in the chat room, just like our good friend Cherokee Batman, who I met today. He's in there. So welcome to the show, sir. Welcome.
Where'd you get that name, Cherokee Batman?
I think it was in one of our old jokes.
Oh,
honestly.
okay, all right.
I think like we have so many little jokes and things that we say on here, and it sounds like something we would have said.
on the couch with us, our friend and the hardest working person I know, Tiffany Martin. How you doing, Tiffany?
I'm doing great.
So,
Tiffany Martin, everybody.
Couldn't be better.
Do you want me to play her theme song?
okay, well, now, after the conversation before we started,
Yeah.
it seems a little disrespectful because I was like...
Okay, it does seem a little disrespectful.
but we can still play it, though.
Yeah, well, Tom and I wrote
'cause
you a
Tiffany's
song.
tough as hell.
Yeah, we
and
wrote
she
you a
did
quick
good
Nothing
job.
will faze me ever.
But you know
Yeah.
what? One thing that we did notice about you is that you've always done things the right way.
Thank you very much.
It's not the easy way, right?
No.
But you do things the right way. So here is Tiffany's new theme song. Just reminder, she's rooted in doing things the correct way. She also had a girl rock band, which a lot of people forget about. She's
yeah, we're going to do a little weird job with Tiffany
yeah.
today.
So if we're going to do weird job, we need a song, ladies and gentlemen. Tiff's new theme.
Started as a Mako's girl doing super slow. Giving rides to millionaires while they were doing blow. All go band in Vegas, they play giant corporate shows. She could have made it easy just by taking off her clothes. She runs an interplay place for your snot-nosed little brats. She built her dad a food truck and now Rick is running that. Now she runs a restaurant where everybody goes. But she could have made it easy just by taking off her clothes. Presenting Tiffany Martin.
That was amazing.
There she is.
Holy moly! Oh, I wish there was more people to clap for that.
Yeah, you could have done it. It's so
Oh, I
easy.
should have.
Just one Fansly account, and you're off to the. But she didn't do that.
You want to know why?
She started 16,000 real small businesses that are more successful than ours has ever been.
Yeah, did it the hard way.
Yeah, we're so
Not
glad to
the
see
easy
you.
way.
Thank
But
you for being here.
Like I always remember, why did I never take off my clothes? Like, and I think it was because I went to a super Catholic Christian school, and my mom always told me, your grandma, because my grandma died when I was like 9. She said anyone that wears a thong is going to go to hell.
This is a new story.
And
This is a new, I don't think I've heard this.
Your grandma is watching, and she can tell God.
Your grandma can see you with a thong, and you'll go to, and your grandma will be like, God, Tiffany's wearing a thong, put her in hell.
So even when I would be like, even when I like wore panties when I was like, 15 or 16, I didn't wear thongs because I was like, I don't want to go to hell. So
that's the reason.
So my family installed these, like, if you're a stripper, if you take off your clothes, you're going to hell. And so it's like in the back of my mind.
My
So
daughter's
even though,
kind of like that. Like Maisie is kind of like Maisie does think that she knows of thong underwear because she's a dancer, and in the dance world, there's a lot of that. If she has to wear it, she'll do it because she knows it's a necessary thing. But she also thinks, like naturally, I believe my daughter thinks that if you wear a thong, you can wear it for dance because you got to be able to move your cheeks better. But if you wear it for fun, you're a whore. I think my daughter thinks that because
And
she wears full bottoms all the time, and
my
she's
grandma was going to tattletale on me. She was going to tell God not to let us in, me and my sister. And so we were like under this impression, like, the religion scared the crap out of me, and honestly, that's kind of why I don't care if my kids go to Catholic school, because if they
guilt aspect.
They need the guilt.
Yeah, they need some guilt. Need some good
I don't even
Catholic
care. What's
guilt.
for me?
You need some guilt boundaries. My God.
So Tiffany, I feel like we'll talk about a lot of things today.
What job are you going to pick, buddy? Because the chat room's even listing through tons of different things that they know she's done. Even some of them just not jobs. Some of them are just stories. People are yelling Splackavelli.
Oh, God.
People are talking about...
Did I bring that up recently?
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about any of that. But it just
people are talking about when you were pitching products for Billy Mays.
How does everybody remember these things?
Well, they listen.
Holy guacamole.
They listen to the things you say.
So, but this is kind of a testament on how people's mindset should be in life with all things, and I'll explain. So let's start with Dollface, right? So everybody who's listened to you for years on the radio or whatever, or knows your background, like you want to be a singer you want to be a famous singer, right?
Yeah.
That, at the start of it, just at the very, so you're like, okay, how do I do this?
Since I was 7 years old, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So, because this journey and you accomplished it is a testament to how people's mindset should be, because this is a way to accomplish your goals, and a lot of people do it wrong. So you want to be a singer, since childhood. You're like, how do I do this? Obviously you get good at singing. You try to get into entertainment business in some way. You find your way into radio. You're like, it doesn't matter what I do. I'm just promoting my singing career. Like, getting exposure is better than not getting exposure. So who cares if I'm not singing on the radio? I'm getting my name out there. And that guy.
Well, and we had the band.
Yes, yeah. And
You
then
remember you played bass?
Yeah. This guy.
Horribly, but you did
To
it.
this day, as a drummer, I've never played with a better bass player than this guy. You talk about somebody who could lay down some thick ropes of bass as this guy. Give me that fat E string. Boom, 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 boom.
And then
I'll never forgive you for losing my favorite bass guitar of all time, my Fender P Lite. So you didn't lock it up, and it got stolen.
So everybody has seen them. Why do you keep bringing that up? You know I feel bad about that. It's about you. And also, I blame you for loaning your expensive, nice bass that you cared about to some dumb intern. You knew how lazy I was.
Do you understand that was a trap set to see if you blamed me, and you knew.
You knew I was responsible.
That was a trap I set.
Oh, my God. This is a bad trait to have, blaming other people. Anyway, sorry. I was just saying, like, well, I do that a little bit. Sorry. Anyway, back to the beginning. So most people, when they start a band, you start a band, Dollface, and you're like, all right, let's practice, and then let's just wait to be discovered. And that's the mistake.
You didn't
I
do
think
that.
a lot of
Yeah.
people, because
You didn't do that.
a lot of people wait. They're just waiting to win the lottery. They're waiting to be discovered. They're waiting for someone to recognize them and then pull them to fame. We make
Yeah.
the joke like, make me famous too.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, like I need to make it happen myself. Like I can't just wait. I need to make it. Like I need to start booking my own gigs, and I need to start running my own business as the band.
So
and that's,
were you deciding that when Dollface is running? You were obviously running the band.
Yeah.
Were you the one? Well, obviously, I think I'm going to answer my own question. When you had set your sights on moving to L.A., did you know exactly what iteration of a professional band you wanted to have?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we wanted to like get a record deal and like be like a famous band.
Yeah,
that was the original like
Right.
idea. But then when I moved out to LA, we're like, well, we need to make money because who's gonna,
Yeah.
But I didn't want to just get a regular job because that's not gonna move forward the goal, which was to get signed and be this band. So we started traveling back and forth to Vegas because that's where you can make a lot of money. And so that's what started the whole thing. And then once I started making a lot of money singing, I realized it wasn't the fame that was driving me to want to be a singer. It was, I just want to be on stage and performing. So once I realized that was actually the true goal, and it wasn't to become famous, it was just to make money doing something that I loved.
Right.
That's when everything shifted. And I was like, I'm 100% Vegas.
Also, can we
Yeah,
talk on something
that-
real quick that I noticed, and I don't know, we've had you in here a bunch. I noticed this happening at the time. Tom probably noticed it. We can't say anything. You're our friend, but we noticed, just so you know, we noticed that and this is not shade, this is just life, and I like sharing real experiences. We noticed at the time when you were going away that you were the person controlling everything, and the other people that were in your band at the time they weren't as in.
They didn't
You
have the
could
same
feel
goal.
it. Yeah, you could feel that they were not as on board. They really weren't, and it kind of shook out that way,
Well,
right?
I think they just wanted to become famous. So once
But it's easier to sit around and say, "I want to be famous."
You're
well, what do
waiting
you
to be
do?
discovered,
What
yeah.
do you do? Well,
Yeah.
I'm in a rock band. Well, why aren't you playing? Well, we're trying. We're trying.
Hey.
That's an easy excuse to
go
throw
make
out
it
there.
happen. But that's what
You never did that.
The mentality of like, and I like that, because here's the thing: it still could have happened. That's the thing is like, like because someone could have discovered Dollface, and in an alternative universe,
Sure.
you could have gone that route, and be,
Yeah.
but that's the statistically unlikely thing to happen. 1% of that happens.
Right.
You see, 99% of the time, the people never even get to where you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just waiting to become, and you're doing a couple local shows. You're like, no, screw this. I'm going to go make money. I'm going to turn this into a business. I'm playing, performing, but not only that, the company and the band, I'm able to pay my band.
Is
I'm
that
able
why
to make money. People don't even
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of like problems within the first Dollface. One of the things was, once we got to LA, the way that I look at the whole LA experience was, by the time I got to LA, I was 27 years old. I already knew who I was, like in my heart and my soul.
Sure.
I am a corny ass person. Okay, right? I'm very.
I feel that. I'm corny too.
I'm like, I have this personality that's extravagant. I'm not cool at all.
I feel
and
that.
like the minute we got there, they started, smoking weed, getting tattoos, becoming LA. And I was already established with who I was
Right.
as a person.
You're like, I want to project what this is out there. I don't want to conform to what this is and then try to do it.
And I feel like in LA, you have to kind of become LA
Yeah.
to make it there. And I just couldn't. What resonated stronger with me was Vegas, because Vegas is kind of like Florida, kind of like Orlando. It's corny. It's the sparkle. It's the glam. It's who I am in my soul. So I found more drive through Vegas, and then I met girls that were on board with me, and they were amazing musicians.
They
and
were monsters.
We
Who was the
destroyed
one
it.
girl with the tattoos?
So she ended up being one of my best
That
friends.
played
she
she was
was
the bass
my
player,
bass
right?
player. Yeah, Crystal.
That girl could play, dude.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
played with a
like,
lot of
I
famous
play
people.
bass.
No, like her. Oh my God! Like she'd throw down, and she could have like, and then it was almost like it seemed like. Now you can tell me if I was wrong.
Yeah.
It seemed like you were almost priming her to kind of like an assistant role or help. And
She was my assistant. Yeah.
I thought what you were doing, like, I just think like that's so cool that you were able to kind of forge this business that I don't even think I've ever heard of, like
Yeah.
professional girl rock band for like corporate events and things, and you were turning down gigs
I forget. Yeah,
because you were trying to start another band. Weren't you trying to start two?
We
Dolphins?
were, and because we were turning down so much, I couldn't sing. Like you hear my voice, I threw my voice out.
Right.
But
You're trying to franchise it out. Like, okay,
Yeah.
if I can just run this band as a manager and put all the girls together, it could be Dollface and they could be playing. I mean, I could be running multiple Dollfaces.
And they did it when I left. They did it for another 2 or 3 years. They didn't do it on the level that I was there because I was the main hustler with the whole thing.
Yeah,
and I realized like something like this, you
You're
do
the engine.
need that hustler behind, in front. I was the front person. I was the hustler. I booked everything. I mean, I was the band. So it was hard to franchise something that, had so much to do with me.
Yeah, that happens a lot in other small businesses. I mean, I was talking to someone else about someone that sold their business.
I thought you were talking to me about being solely like it's dependent upon you and me. I was like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I know all about that.
But the like a lot of times the business is only successful because of the one person. So then you're like a person like, oh, look at this business, valuable, and then as soon as they buy it and that person leaves, and then there's nothing, and it's crazy. Then it's like, oh, that one person was propping this all up, and like they were the reason. That
and
it was
I hate to
successful.
say this, but I feel like Salty Sisters has a lot of that in it, because everyone always says we love that the owners are always here. Like me and my sister were busting tables yesterday, taking tables. I was in the kitchen, and this was on a Tuesday, because bingo has just blown up on Tuesdays. It's crazy. So
Salty
Tuesdays,
Sisters bingo Tuesdays.
yeah, man, it's.
You haven't heard about
Like,
Salty Sisters Bingo
you can't
Tuesday?
even- if you don't get in by 5 o'clock, you don't get a table. It's like a thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's really a
We got a huge, gigantic
When we
amount
went-
of tables.
when my family-
is it only indoors or is it outdoors?
We do it inside because right now it's too cold.
Okay, yeah.
But we did want to move it outside, but we feel like it's just. I don't know
more
if it's.
intimate area,
I
yeah.
think through March we'll probably move it outside just because spring break is just going to be insane. But yeah,
You should do a bingo fest all day. Unlimited bingo.
they used to do that in Vegas. They would do these long
Sun up to
bingos.
sundown, Salty Sisters Bingo Fest.
Oh,
the
yeah.
most bingo you've ever
A
had.
tournament. They're called bingo tournaments.
Yeah, we could do it. We could totally do it.
That actually would be pretty cool.
So with the band, how did you book your gigs? Was it just about like meeting whoever's in charge of booking entertainment for the casino and then leveraging that person to find the next casino and that kind of thing? Or-
So we had several agents. I had all 5 different entertainment agents that would just give us a call and be like, are you available for this? One was mainly casinos, and I knew he booked out all of the the Caesars. So the conglomerate of Caesar's Palace, and I think they had 4 other casinos. I don't remember exactly which ones. I think Planet Hollywood was with that group.
That's where we saw you.
At Planet Hollywood?
Yeah, Planet Hollywood.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I had a different agent that booked a lot of the stuff downtown. So they would do Fremont Street and Golden Nugget. And then we had 2 agents that would just do corporate stuff. And so we wouldn't get as many of those. But when those hit.
Okay.
So,
Well, you can talk about it now. What would they pay? What were the
Oh, man.
traditional corporate gigs?
so we did this pizza corporation or corporate event. It was 3 days and we made $12,000 in 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Wait, you did
that's
that?
nice.
It's the International Pizza Convention or whatever,
and
right?
we had to do 3 45-minute sets over
For
the course of
$12,000?
over the course of 3 days. Yeah. New Year's Eve, we used to make $7-8 on New Year's Eve. Even now, I'm like, can I get a New Year's Eve gig?
Yeah, hey, man, I can play drums, and this guy plays bass. Whatever I said about him earlier, not true. He's one of the best in the biz.
Yeah,
Let's do
the big corporate, we would, and obviously the casinos paid the bills and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. But I would throw it down on the corporate events where the real money was at. We did a porn convention where we weren't in the porn, obviously.
No, we understand.
But we were performing for all the porn stars.
Yeah.
And I want to say we had to do.
That stinks in here. It smells like fish in here. My God.
They were all at least $8,000 for those. But that pizza thing, that was the highest paid.
Yeah.
With the
It does
porn-
make me feel better to know that pizza pays better than porn.
Yeah. Pizza over porn.
Yeah.
What was a porn convention like? Because usually everybody
He's a pervert.
expects.
This guy's Can you
What the hell, man? I'm just asking you questions here.
Describe some of about the people there. Describe their bodies to me.
No.
Who are the largest pecker?
No, I'm not even asking. I was about to say because
I was a porn convention. You get laid.
People expect it to be crazy, but it's just a bunch of normal people. That
I
are
mean,
regular.
so the one that we actually performed for was the Cam Girls. So they were all like the 18-year-olds, and they were like acting like we were celebrities. So they were like, they were the girls that just started porn, and it was sad.
Oh, those are the ones I like.
Sad.
Yeah. Those are the ones
Why
I
do you
like.
want to hear a
Sorry.
sad?
Yeah, it's
They
like,
weren't
without the makeup,
young,
you would look
sad
like a
girls.
child.
They were.
I shouldn't say
It was
that.
like 18 to 21-year-olds, and I was just like, man, that's someone's kid.
Yeah.
It was sad.
The difference between this and Epstein's Island is like 6 months. It's crazy.
They're like, the girls out there really love your band. This is the first time I've seen them put down the roadblock.
And we're playing like Call Me Maybe, and they're like,
They have no idea what you
just
mean.
right out of high school.
It's a little gross.
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't. Yeah.
You probably are like, oh, what are you doing? You probably want to sit them all down. And be
I
like,
did,
"You're going
I
the wrong
did."
way."
My God, let me tell you about Splackavelli.
What is that? My grandma should be mad right
Yeah,
now.
my God. How many? Raise your hand if you have a thong on. Do you know what hell is?
Obviously, your grandma didn't tell you you're going to hell. This is what
We did
happens.
not have the same grandma.
And so, and then also probably like, did you have aspirations of like, hey, I'm going to franchise this? Because you could turn it into like a Blue Man Group type of thing.
Like the Spasmatics. We talked
Yeah.
about them last week.
Where
They
it's
do
just
it.
like now I have these. It'll be hard as hell to manage because you'd have to find the right people in each city. Because you could do this in like New Jersey and those casinos over there and like so. But now you're talking like that's a crazy grind. That probably it depends on finding the right people.
that part,
Yeah.
especially like females that are young, pretty, and can actually play. That was the hard thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was
you can get
so
some great
hard finding
musicians,
them.
but they look like danko uggos. Oh my God!
Yeah. What-
Like we love what you're doing on the drums, but holy smokes,
It's almost
are
like-
you unfortunate?
It's like a unicorn, really. Because,
It was.
because then how long are they going to continue to do it? They're in it for 3 years, then they're out.
Yeah.
And then it's like now you get the constant turnover. God, my God.
Do you ever think about sliding a boy in there?
We had to a couple times because
Yeah.
we had a girl that was so good that she got picked up from Cirque du Soleil, and
Wow.
so she was like in the Michael Jackson show, and we couldn't compete with the pay for that.
She must
Yeah,
have looked like a little boy then.
Say that.
the girl
That's a funny joke.
guitarist, Jesus.
It's funny. I stand by that one. You know what? That
right,
one I stand by.
Well, I'm going to stand by you too then.
Thank you. You know what? This guy stands by me.
I don't accept.
So then what was the inevitable end to that business?
I had a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that was like, I can't keep
I
the
can't.
grind up. Yeah.
There's no way I could, perform till 2-3 in the morning and then get up and give him a bottle at 6, and
Yeah.
And the grind of singing so much, there was one of the reasons too, where the voice couldn't hold out. Especially you were telling me the smokiness of casinos and all
Just
stuff.
overuse, man. Like it's just like your eyes, and like people are like now, like more than ever, people complain like my eyes. It's like you're looking at your phone all day.
Yeah.
Your eyes are not made to look at a digital device all day. Yeah,
Well, and
your
it's
eyes
like,
are all screwed
It
up.
is a muscle. So, like, my voice is a lot worse now because I blew it out back then, but I could talk and sing so much better than I sound now. But I kind of like, I didn't work it. Like, I was working my voice. It was like a strong muscle, and now it's like a weak muscle. So, yeah, that's why I talk like this. And I've been through the doctor a couple times this month, and he looked at my throat and he said, there's nothing I can do about this. If we give you a surgery, it's going to make it worse.
You know, I have that too, if it makes you feel any better. I have something going on where my range of singing, like I still have my pitch and I can still sing and everything. I can still do voices. But if you were to go back and actually listen to me when I started my radio career, like I've done natural damage to my voice. And when I go, they're like, yeah, your voice is fine.
That's what they
Nothing's
say to me.
ruptured. Everything's okay. They're just like, sorry, you've used your voice so much and so incorrectly that this is just what you have now.
Yeah. It was like I go to the doctor. I'm like, I'm not as strong as I used to be.
Yeah.
They're like, you're dying, sir. Like, what are you?
But that freaks me out for a second.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm dying. Oh my God.
At least they can like give you steroids.
You know,
But
I know,
like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
they can't do anything.
No.
It's
Yeah,
like,
men do have it better because I could just start taking the tea and then I'm back to business.
Have you thought about getting on the tape?
They don't have
for my
testosterone.
voice?
No,
I'm-
they don't have
I'm being
nothing.
stupid.
No.
I'm being silly.
Like men have an ultimate drug we could take to make ourselves feel better.
Can
Like women don't have it.
Can women take?
They have hormone replacement therapy, but
The
it's not the
Ozempic.
same.
They could do Ozempic.
Yeah, but that just makes you skinny.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like you make you feel like you're in your 20s again.
Oh.
You know, they don't have any of that for women.
No,
You know,
I don't
like-
think they have
Botox.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
A little chocolate therapy, wine 30, maybe.
I'm going to
Something
start
like that.
getting Botox. Because
Are you going to get it?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
that'll
yeah.
help your cop look. Look how much okay, I look like a biker. He looks like a cop.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's hilarious. I'll tell you guys.
No, tell me on air.
Oh, you were going to say
Did he
something
hook me up
terrible.
with some Botox?
Yeah, what do you got? You got drugs?
Aladdin
No, I
told
was
me
gonna
before
say-
she's
We
got
want
a
drugs.
Botox
I was going to
person.
say, there's this cop that I'm friends with, and wait till you see his picture because it looks exactly like you.
You look
Well, I
like a cop.
know.
Like
Yeah.
so much like you that it's creepy.
You know what's crazy? That if Tom's dad knew how much his son looked like a cop, oh, he'd be so mad. Oh my God, your grandpa right now? He's like, who is that? I'd be like, that's your son, that's your grandson Thomas.
No, so I just.
Oh my God, that's you.
No, what the
That's
hell?
you. Oh my
That's
God,
just a regular
That-
white guy.
You both should be arrested
Yeah,
for
all-
looking the same.
all-
You have the exact same haircut.
No, all middle-aged white guys look the same. I'm just telling you. Yeah.
No, but you have the
Because Dan
cop
doesn't look like
haircut.
this.
Dan
don't
looks
have
like I was stranded on an island. He went the opposite direction.
You have.
I gotta go clean shaven because someone's gotta get business done.
You know what?
You
You
can't
have-
be two goddamn gold miners. Because they're like, no, I gotta be the cop.
But why do you have to?
Good cop.
Why
I
do
wanna
you have
wear
the
sandals.
Nazi tactical. Your haircut's Nazi tactical. Why do you have the Nazi tactical?
I have to be like a business cut. I'm talking
You
to
have the
clients.
you're wearing a Boogaloo Boy haircut.
You know what
You
it
have
is?
the Boogaloo Boy
You know,
haircut.
I've been so trashed, Tiffany. You'll
It looks
understand.
good. I'm not going to lie. It looks really good.
I've been
He
so,
doesn't like it longer, and I've been giving compliments, and I like his hair longer the way it is right now, and now he's going to go chop it all off, and he's going to come back
Keep
and
it
he's going
like
to look
this.
like grade A
I'm
cop.
telling you.
Well,
do it for your wife. It's perfect.
Do it for your
no,
wife.
she wants me to have it be all long and crazy.
Oh, make it long and
Because
crazy.
she wants people to not be attracted to her. She's always been like that.
No, but you know,
That's
Maisie and
crazy.
Andrea, like I ask them all the time. I'm like, they're like, we like your look. And then Maisie told me, and I was like, why do you like? I grilled her because it's hot. The beard is so hot. The hair, when I laid, I'm not used to it. When my hair's wet, washing longer hair is, you can't do it as much. You got to condition it all the time. You're always combing it and do it. And Maisie's like, I like that you don't look like all the other daddies.
Oh,
But
that's
you're
really cute.
This
Tom
causing me
does.
a tremendous amount of problems online. You see, people are like, "What the hell happened to you?"
They do.
and it's an
Like,
insulting thing. They
there's-
scream, "What the hell happened to you?"
With
Happened to you?
No,
me,
Daniel.
Me.
Oh,
Because of my size.
I haven't changed.
First of all, because of my size, people feel like they can just come up to me at any place and be like, "What the hell?" Because of my size, they do that.
Yeah.
And now with my new look, it gives them their double. They come up to me and they're like, "Oh, what happened? Whoa, are you dying?" They say crazy things.
Just have a beard now.
They're like, "Why are you doing?" They ask me. They're like, "Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like just to switch it up or whatever." My daughter likes it. Okay.
Yeah, but, you know, now here's the thing. I do benefit from it because when we stand next to each other, I seemingly, and I told Johnny
They're looking
Magic
like
this.
this cop is escorting this biker into prison.
No, it seems like I'm getting younger. Younger.
Because Daniel's getting older.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's like back in the
But
day.
what's really weird,
like,
I have no pubes. So if you saw the full body of me, you'd be like, "What the hell?"
But it's like a girl going out to the club with her biggest friend. You see what I'm saying? Like comparison wise, it makes you look better.
Yeah.
Like that's
Little
what's happening.
biker equals big friend.
When I show up now with places that they know, they're like, "Whoa, Tom, you look so damn good."
They do. They do say that.
Like,
Well, I mean, you've also lost a lot of weight.
yeah, it helps that we're going
Yeah.
opposite directions.
Well, I'm not gaining weight.
No, not the
I'm
weight.
losing weight too. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I'm not.
You're not shaving your face. That's the only difference.
No, I'm not working out as much. He's addicted.
Committed.
To it. Well, because I've caught him posing in the mirror. He's kind of.
You start working out, you pose. What the hell am I doing it
I do
for?
not.
Yeah, honestly, we are both.
Tiffany does it too. I
None of
know
us
she
have-
does.
Yeah, I do. But
She works
I'm
out all
okay
the
with
time.
that.
Yeah.
I don't picture you posing. That's weird.
Oh, he poses.
Wait till I start posting pictures like Brady on my social media.
It's awkward.
Clown me.
It's very awkward.
It just doesn't match your personality to care about your looks. I don't know. It's
How
weird.
do you eat well?
I've known you 25 years. I've never felt like, oh, I'm Hot Tom. I mean, that's weird.
How do you eat well?
How'd you know what I say when I'm posing?
Look at you're hot, Tom.
Okay.
How do you eat well and stay as fit as you do? I know people wonder that because you have your mom, 2 kids, multiple businesses. How do you are you able to dial in it seems like you've always taken care of yourself. How do you do that?
I've kept weight off for like 20 years now. I was thicker when I was on the Monsters.
I know. Tom and I talk about how much we liked it. When you first came to this, you had a thick dog, and you had curlies, tiny curly hair.
I hate those pictures so much.
But you had, oh my God.
They used to make fun of me. They'd get me on the scale. I look back at those moments and I'm like,
that's what you did in radio. You put women on scales, and you were like, what? Ew.
I remember.
And you know what? Society, I blame society because they all heard it and were like, yes, this is what you should do. It's your fault.
Well,
you're the monster.
I would argue, look at her now. What was wrong?
Well, I don't even know I was drinking a lot because I was just out of high school. So I was like,
probably
I'm
calories.
free.
Yeah.
So I was drinking just as much as I possibly can and then eating ramen noodles and pizza at 2 a.m. And now I don't do that. So I kept it off.
Well, yeah. What is it? Just diet exercise?
Yeah. Just the standard diet and exercise.
Damn it.
I go to the gym 5 days a week, sometimes 4. And then I also I don't eat carbs still. Carbs have always been my
my
kryptonite.
You own a hamburger bar.
So if I'm gonna eat a burger, I'll do a kid's cheeseburger, and it'll probably be the only thing I eat that day. So. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Not exactly the healthiest way to diet, but if I'm gonna cheat, it's gonna be the only cheat meal.
Well, I would say, and I'll put it out there for our listeners: if you have not had a Salty Sisters hamburger or cheeseburger, rather, you should go and have.
Oh yeah,
because they are really good hamburgers.
Let's talk about Salty Sisters because what year of business is
going
this?
into 4? October is August. We bought it in August, but we actually did our grand opening in October. So that October that just passed was our 4th.
Congratulations.
This is our 4th.
So you're going into the 5th year. And
no, this is the 4th.
Oh, this is the 4th year. Okay. Yeah. So 4 years in business. What have you learned? Because and we'll talk about the food truck because that's a new venture and an extension of Salty Sisters.
That is the avenue.
And it's more work.
How do you build out a food? I don't even know what goes into building out a food truck.
So we bought a food truck from Miami. Hey, Tom, your old stopping grounds.
Yeah.
I would have steered you away from buying anything from Miami.
You know what's interesting?
Like when I see things for sale in Miami, I immediately what's the scam here?
1 out of every 6 cars in Miami is a food truck.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
That
I just looked that up.
How are they trying to get me?
Hang on. See,
I don't answer phone calls from 305.
This is the hard part.
Uh-oh, what's happening? Are you doing business right now?
No, it's fine. It's just when an employee that's actually at work right now is texting me, then I get nervous real quick, but it's fine. They're
Hey, we got an old man bleeding in the bathroom.
He's
happened. Bleeding from his pee hole.
That's happened.
Tiffany.
More than 6 times.
God damn.
More than 6 times I've called an ambulance on someone that's fallen in the bathroom. More than 6 times.
Oh, wow. Joking around.
Nope.
Oh, my God.
Bleeding from their head.
Oh,
yes.
Old man?
Old man.
Oh, wow.
Always old man. Fall at the bar, old man. Yeah, never really old women.
And it sucks because you need those old men, too, because they'll drink a lot of Coors Lights, but they'll also fall down in your bathroom.
You know what happens? I'll tell you, because I know...
I am one of those Coors Lights old men.
I am going to fall down as an old man.
Me too.
Because
you're falling down now.
Because no matter what, I am never taking advice from anybody around me that says, hey, you need to use a cane or anything, and you can't get blacked out drunk anymore because you're going to fall down.
Have water?
Yeah, and then I'm like, yeah, right. Oh, my God, I've done this for... you don't know. You can't tell me what to do. So I'm at Salty Sisters. I'm blacked out. And I
go to the bathroom, and I do that move where I hold onto the metal handicap rail, but I do that move where I lean all the way back, and it takes every ounce of strength of my left hand to keep me from falling backward, and I'm peeing everywhere.
Well, but then on the way to the bathroom, first I try to fight the mirror that's next to the bathroom because I think it's another old man trying to fight.
What are you looking at?
Have you seen that video, by the way? Have you seen the old man trying to? Okay, there's a video of an old man. And it reminds me of Salty Sisters, kind of. But he's walking to the bathroom, and he's walking.
Is that the vibe she's going for? If you like Salty Sisters, you'll love fighting an old man in a mirror. It's the same vibe.
Look up old man fights a mirror because like he's walking to the bathroom, and then it seems like another old man is walking towards him because he doesn't realize it's his own reflection.
No, that's another.
And then as he walks, he puts his forearm up to block him because he's like, "Hey, this old man's coming near me," but it's his own reflection. And then he puts a watch.
Here it is, Tiffany.
Okay, well, it literally looks like Salty
It
Sisters.
does look exactly like, and he's looking at it, he's like, "What are you doing? What are you looking at? You get out of my way, you mother ever!"
Yeah. Watch
Oh,
it.
snap.
Well, look, and then he starts using his forearm. He thinks it's another old man that's trying him. This is going to be me, by the way. And
you know what's weird is that this man and people that look exactly like him, 100% voting rate.
Also,
When you pulled that video up, I thought it was Salty Sisters.
I'm telling you,
I see you in the background.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, is that not my
I
bar?
saw you come by. You had a hamburger in your hand.
Yeah. And then then you fall down in the bathroom.
That's happening next.
You had 9.5 Coors Lights and nothing to eat.
So you buy this food truck from Miami.
Yeah.
Is it an older, when you're shopping for a food truck, is it like, oh, we got to have a good engine, or it's got to have a good kitchen, or like, what are you looking for?
So we were looking for affordability because we were like, we don't know if this is actually going to work.
Sure.
So we got a cheap one, to be honest with you. And then the engine blew, like before we even drove it home. But we got it for $13,000. So, I mean, they're worth $50,000-$60,000.
Yeah.
So then we fixed the whole thing up. We redid the engine. We did the tires. We did a lot to the actual engine of the car, and then we painted it. It has low miles. That's why we got it. But we ended up spending around $35,000, which is still better than 60 is what it would have cost.
Sure.
With that amount of miles and what we put into it, we still probably saved $20,000-$30,000.
And then when you say
I'm referring to me and my brother-in-law were kind of the ones that like did the food truck.
Nice.
Gotcha, yeah. And then you just got a mechanic and the other stuff. Did you try to like use friends and stuff like?
We tried to, but it was too hard to try to get friends. I mean, I used a few friends to like read.
Hold on, say that again for Tom. A little louder? A little louder for the guy in the black shirt about not using friends. Tiffany, what were you saying?
She tried.
Wise
You always
businesswoman.
try.
No, she trying probably means she thought about it and didn't do it.
Well, no, I mean, I called them ish.
Yeah.
And then,
And you use your favors all. You're like, hey, I got this dollar. They're like, I've done 2 things already.
You know what? Not interested.
I'm tired of doing all these cockamamie things.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think your time has passed.
You know, it's funny. Every time we ask for listeners to help us, like full T-shirts, it's a little less.
Little
every
less.
time.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what it's like?
See, I don't have that anymore.
It's like the
'cause I'm not on
superhero
radio.
Spawn. Every time he uses his powers, he's one step closer to death.
Yeah.
So every time we pack goodie bags, that's why I'm trying to get you to stop the goddamn goodie bags. Because if we stop them, we don't burn out our favors.
I'm telling you, because when I used to be in radio, man, favors were so much easier. Now you actually have to pay people to do stuff.
In radio, if you're a hot woman
but you
in
still-
radio, you have an endless sea of fat guys that will do favors for you. Endless sea
you
of
still
fat
got
guys.
your social media. You put out like requests. There's some fat guys that will help you.
Okay, so
There's always a fat
I
guy.
do have one request.
If you got on your X right now, it said, "Hey, I need some fat guys to help me out." How many fat guys do you think you could get?
I mean, it depends on what it was.
I think you could get 50 easy. 50 in 1 hour. 50 fat guys.
I do need someone to take a couch from my house next Friday.
Wait, we
So-
need it for Sofas and Suds. What's it look like?
Oh, it's big. It's really big, though.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's a big sectional, and my kids have destroyed it. So I ordered a new one. I'm getting a new one, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the old one. Like, do I put it on the curb? I mean, it's like no one's
Curb
gonna
alert, yeah.
put it in their house. I mean, it's got,
people will put it in
got
their
Jello
house.
stains.
Oh, people will put it in their house.
Yeah. Cocoa
Yeah.
Beach, they'll take it. This is Florida.
If you had an
still.
OnlyFans guy that'd be over there putting their face on it, you know, like and snorting it.
I had to help you, but I helped you move one time. That's the end of my
that
favor.
is a gulp of Mexico.
I could only help one time people move, and after that, that's it. I only go to one wedding, and I'll help you move one time.
What about your sister-in-law? Is she done now?
What?
Because you
Moving?
helped her move.
Yeah. That one is done.
Even family. I was just counting family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Family, maybe get 2.
What?
So let's back to the food truck. What are we making in the food truck?
We're making the classic smash burgers that we're famous for. We got 3 different kinds, and we're still doing the hand cut fries, which sets us above the rest because we really take the time with the French fries. It makes a big difference when you hand cut them yourself.
You know what I started doing is making all of my own food. I fried my own wings over the weekend. Like, because Maisie wanted to do our own.
Like in a deep fryer?
I fried them in a Dutch oven in the house,
Nice.
but just like really, like if you have the right equipment and you do it right, oh my God, everything's just so much better. But like, how many people have an actual griddle that seasoned well enough to have a smash burger that tastes like the one you're going to get at Salty Sisters? The answer is probably most of you do not have.
We go through 10,000 wings per week.
Whoa!
Jesus.
That's 10,000
Somebody
wings.
asked me the other day, how many wings do you think you go through? And we go through 10 cases. So, 1,000 wings in each case.
Jesus Christ.
I need to hook you up with my buddy Fernando because he specializes in wing buying from like big wholesalers, and you can get some
Don't
ridiculous...
mess up any of your systems for this guy. You got your
that's a good
systems
deal.
in place.
That gets you good Miami some wings fell off a truck. I get you those.
You want
half price.
he's like, hey, they're a little warm, but if you refreeze them, they're fine.
yeah. Just double fry them. They're good. Fry them
Double
whole.
fry them. You got to fry the frost off.
You guys can't even joke about that.
You got to double fry the botulism off.
If
that's the worst.
I get some
You don't
black
mess-
market wings. They're not even chickens.
Oh, God, I want to throw up.
There's a pigeon wing.
They're bigger.
little
They're
tiny
bigger. They're jumbos. They call them the
I know this guy that nets some pigeons in New York. Pigeon wings are just a little smaller than chicken wings. Same thing. Tastes the same.
Half off wings on
Man,
Wednesdays.
If I ran any other business besides this, I'd be the most corrupt.
Is it only because
If I was a cop, oh man,
it's only because you lack opportunity.
yeah.
There's
first
just no
aid.
opportunity here.
Yeah.
Are you still dealing with
No,
the guy?
it's like 9,000.
Hey, this old man, now he's doo-dooing. Now he's doo-dooing.
So, yeah,
We got
anyways.
boo-boo.
Do you have to always be on alert when you're a restaurant owner?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Because if there's a meltdown right now, I gotta handle it like ASAP.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
for example, if the power goes out, that's like the worst case scenario.
Because people, they're like, it's like when the power goes out in a primitive, village. And people are like, oh, they think it's magic. They don't know what
you
happened.
can't
If
bring
the
in the
opening
bills.
cook doesn't show up, that one's pretty.
Yeah. That
Freak the F out.
And you know how to do everything at that restaurant. You can run the fryer. You can change the oil. You can go in and prep. You could prep for wings. You could prep for burgers, right?
I'm actually really good in the kitchen. Like if we're doing, because there's
And
probably.
you said you had to learn that, right?
Yeah, but like cooking is different than cooking for 500 people.
Correct.
Cooking for 500 people, your brain has to go in so many tiny different directions at all time. Because of the timing, you don't want the fries to come out before this nacho because the nacho is going to get colder before and it's like the amount of
Management,
thinking that you have to really go through just to do on that scale of how many people. It's incredible. I mean, I know that people give cooks this bad image, but when they're really good and it's busy, they're something
Super
else.
valuable.
They're really smart. You have to be smart.
Most of our chef friends say that too. Like even a guy that runs a fry station, there's all fried foods, right?
Yeah.
Like Chef Ed talks about this all the time. He's like, there are people that are just better at they know how all the food's time. They know how long the food's, because it also depends on how long that food's been out, right?
timing.
Like it's going to fry differently. And those people know all of that.
Yeah, you're
It's
doing 50
so
things at
detailed.
once.
So detailed. And the people that can like hold it together, like our main cook is 19 and he just holds the whole thing together. But he was not there on New Year's Eve. And guess who took his place? And it was the busiest New Year's Eve we ever had.
You did?
And I did. And we kept our ticket times under 1 hour, which was pretty amazing.
That is awesome.
Well, that is truly, and that is the mark. The fact that the restaurant really didn't slow means that you didn't lose any customers.
No,
or maybe
it was really cool.
It
was really cool because, and the whole staff was like, okay, Tiffany's a boss. Like I can trust myself to be able to handle that amount of work and load and mental stress because it's not like they're not coming in every 2 2 minutes and asking me why the bounce house is also deflated.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need someone else to figure this out. And they're
One
like,
Bad at Business Beer Fest, Tom gave out single-handedly 50 goodie bags by himself. People didn't understand how he did it, but people were impressed. They're like, we didn't know how he did it. How did he hand out all those goodie bags with the stickers?
No. I do nothing myself. I'm like, I'm too good for this. That's what a real business.
That's what they expect you to be, you know? But then you waste so much money. I mean, that's how I feel.
I love wasting money. I love saying I'm too good for this, waste money. Anyway, so you bring up a good point that a lot of us forget as restaurant patrons, which is like the tremendous amount of effort it takes just to pull it off reasonably and take your order and get it to you in your reasonable amount of time. The society is set to be like anything,
which, by the way, is faster than it will ever be in your own home.
Yeah, and then any mistake, it's kind of like the moving industry that Crystal used to be in. Is like any mistake is like, what? Like people are appalled, and then like I will leave you a bad review because of one small timing area or
these fries are slightly cold. What?
And then it's like, if it all goes regular, which is extremely hard to pull off, then you're like, okay,
not bad.
You never like, I'm going to leave this a good review, or like I'm going to appreciate that I just had a regular experience. How hard that is to pull off as a restaurant.
Well, so we'll have like a 30 top that won't even like tell us that they're coming in, right? So I'm understaffed. I'm not ready. It's on a Monday or something. So I have like 2 cooks back there, and now they have to figure out how to do timing on 30 people at once. And if somebody's fries come out cold, God forbid. Yeah. And it's like, so we'll get a bad review on something like that. And a lot of times I'm like, do I explain? Do I give them free fries? Do I comp the bill? A lot of times I just like, I'll comp the fries or something, because I'm like, they will never understand it. They don't know what just went down back there to try to make this come out the way that it did, and it's okay.
How do you handle reviews? That's a good place to sort of end, because it's the ending. Kind of the ending portion of what you do is the back end of things, where it's good. It's all good and well to stock it, which, by the way, gives me anxiety whenever I think about ordering the correct amount of food for a restaurant. It starts to make me go like, well, you could never do.
You can never make it perfect.
I'm not built to do that, because that gives me constant anxiety.
Yeah.
Thinking about did I order enough meat for the no?
Well, that part's on my sister, and I put that part on her on purpose because I just can't. It's like, I agree. I can't take the blame if we run out of something, and she actually has a hard time with that too. She's like, I didn't mean to run out. And I'm like, girl, we were more busy this week than we were last week. You didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't
but
know.
Like constantly, like, okay, do we have a catering? So you have to take all these things into consideration. The snowbirds are here, so you're going to order a little bit busier in these kind of months.
Different times too, because they maybe come in earlier or something like that.
When do the snowbirds show up?
Right now.
Well, okay, there.
Oh, we getting ready to hit it.
Oh, look at her.
This is the moneymaker right here.
She's ready. She's ready. Look at the
February. March is the best. March is the best time of the year.
Okay.
And then April is really good. May still good. And then we start to creep down a little bit. Sales will drop a little bit in the summer.
So before we leave, the food truck, what's your plan to... Is it going to be available for people to like get Salty Sisters to come to their event?
Their wedding.
Is it going to be stationed somewhere for the most part? Is it like all event oriented?
No, we want to do everybody's event.
Okay.
We want to do everybody's anything. So yeah, if you guys are interested in having the Salty Sisters food truck, when I say you guys, you, Tom and Dan, and also your listeners, please hit me up. I want to get this thing booked out solid. That would be like a great goal of mine. It's Salty Sisters, CB as in Cocoa Beach, at gmail.com. Email me and I'll put you on the calendar, and I would really, really, really appreciate the help.
We'd love to get you out, obviously the food truck out of the beer fest this year. That's in November. We got some time, but we want to get
awesome. Yeah, Tiffany, or excuse me, Tracy just put it in our chat room.
We need to do another BDM meetup at Salty Sisters too, because
they're already talking about it. Whether we do it or not, they're doing it.
Yeah, we're going to do one this year, and like we'll do it during their slow months in the summer, just so, because that's the best time.
Exactly.
And because like it'd be cool to just get a chill beach band and to get some BDMs hanging out at that. The back area you have at Salty Sisters is awesome for event space.
Yeah,
like it's a perfect beachside event space, and I want to do more stuff. So
get a ping pong table out there again, and Tom and Dan ping pong rides again.
Tiffany,
oh, I love that idea.
I don't know, something silly. We would find some ping pong table that people don't want.
It's always impressive talking to you, Tiffany.
thank
because
you.
We've missed you.
Because it inspires me to work harder, and seriously,
Yeah,
I'm like I'm not doing as much as I thought.
It's twofold. It's like it's
This lady's doing
inspiring,
way more.
And then once I smoke a little weed, I'm like, you'll never be as good as her. POS.
I mean, I don't even feel like it's just, I guess it's like so in me that when everybody says like, oh, you're the hardest woman, you're the hardest working woman I know. Everyone always tells me that, and I don't feel like I am. I feel like I could be doing so much more. So it's a compliment.
That's how a hard
and
worker
I appreciate
feels.
it.
Yeah, I think that's just how you
It's kind of a curse,
It
actually.
is. It's sick. I'm sick.
Because
honestly, because I want to write another book, and I'm like, well, okay, how can I put my kids down to bed at a little bit sooner so I can get 30 more extra? I mean, it's sick.
No,
my
I feel
brain
you.
is.
Because it's real easy to be lazy and think you work hard. Because that's more prevalent.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of those people.
I know a lot of those.
And
You're
that,
like,
that
done for the
exists.
day.
And,
Sent 3 emails.
and you can give them a lie detector test, and they will say they work as hard as you, which is crazy.
1 million.
But it exists.
Tis true, tis true.
Hard work is subjective.
Salty Sisters.
CB, as in Cocoa Beach, at Gmail. If you want to
There
book
you
my
go.
food truck, I really, really, really would appreciate this. I need some money, so
Book
hook
it
me up, people.
Look it up. You do like birthday parties if I want you
I
to
do
make
everything.
burgers for my children
I
or
do
something?
everything.
I mean, it's a good
Catering,
idea.
all
My
the
buddy
stuff.
did that for his birthday. He just had a food truck pull up. Everybody was there like, what are we eating? Food truck pulls up. They're like, it's on me. Get anything you want.
Yeah, we did a New Year's
Pretty
Eve
cool
party.
idea.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Daniel's got his 50th coming up. And we
I would
put
do
together
that.
a Salty Sisters
I would 100.
50th.
I was actually thinking about that. You're taking it right out of my mouth. I was like,
That's in June.
And I want a mariachi band, and hamburgers would be perfect.
Oh my God,
we
perfect.
can book a mariachi band right now if we
Yeah,
do it. Like
let's do it.
Daniel's birthday party, 50th in June, Salty Sisters, or we just
That's exactly what I want.
Well, okay,
And I'll
okay.
be moving around good by then.
mariachi, just hanging out? Like,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Hamburgers, beach hamburgers, Mexican beach hamburgers.
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
right, there it is.
Solved it.
We'll let you know.
There you go.
Tiffany, thanks so much.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. You're definitely going to want to come over to the chat room, to the channel, and check everything out. We have a very special guest. I will let you introduce him momentarily, but
Yep.
it would do us a big favor if you go over and like and subscribe our YouTube channel. We have great stuff on there that Melissa's been putting together, great live streams that we do every single day, Monday through Friday, and I just want to boost that in 2026. So come on over at Tom and Dan Live.
So Science Night Live is this weekend, and we've been telling you guys about it. Great date night for Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And you should get tickets now because it looks like it could sell out.
Yeah.
And you can get your tickets at osc.org. It's the Orlando Science Center. The Science Night Live is after hours for adults only. There's drinks. There's small snacks.
Yeah, interactive stuff that you can do. There's games and all kinds of appearances by people, and they're showing you things and learning you things.
Well, speaking of appearances,
Yeah.
at Science Night Live from Impossible Science Live, Jason Latimer is here. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
So
Appreciate you being here, man.
now, so Jeff, real quick
Yes.
before we talk to Jason, Science Night Live,
Yes.
you should get your tickets now if you want to guarantee.
If you want to
that date night.
guarantee to get in, I would go to osc.org. Buy those tickets now. They're selling fast. It's poised for a
well,
sellout.
you've put everything into it, Jeff. I mean, not to sing your praises for a second, because we'll sing our guest praises for a second, too, because we have a special guest that I love having in. Dare I say, too, one of our most attractive guests.
That's true. Yeah,
He
yeah.
is. He is one. And I know.
And, yeah, I am, not dog food either.
You know what? And I didn't mean to make you feel that way.
Yes.
You know what? I deserve that.
Yeah.
I am consistently.
You know what? I apologize, Jeff. I apologize. You know what? And I had to say that in the middle of introducing Jeff. I'm like, let's talk to Jeff, but first let's talk to our very attractive. You know what? I am very sorry, Jeff.
Oh, no worries. We're all friends here.
But yeah, get those tickets now. Jeff and his team have been throwing everything that I could ever think to throw at a Valentine's Day, like a deal. Like this has.
If you're a member too, Jeff, how much is it?
Yeah, if you're a member, you're getting in for $5. If you're a member of the Science Center,
Insane.
you get this for $5. If you're just general audience, it's $25.
Right.
But even $25 a person is a deal for what we are offering you for Saturday night.
Have you bought anything recently? $25. You're undercharging, Jeff, but it doesn't matter. We want to pack this thing out.
Yeah.
And it will be packed, and it'll be a great event because you guys do a good job.
Get a membership so you can get those $5 tickets, and then you get to enjoy the Science Center all year long.
All year
and
long.
other Science Night Lives that will be $5 anyway. It's a great deal.
Because this event is awesome. Science Night Live, we do about 3-4 times a year. It's our adult night where we open up the Science Center in the evening only to adults. What makes this one special, not just because it's Valentine's Day, but also Spark STEM Fest is this weekend.
Yes,
it's
sir.
the biggest event of the year we do at Orlando Science Center. It's running Saturday, Sunday, Monday for all ages during the day, amazing shows, mind-blowing demonstrations, great partners. But Science Night Live, very special event. And the gentleman that we're with, Jason, is going to be at both Spark STEM Fest and Science Night Live, and you don't want to miss it.
Yep.
Awesome. So, Jason, we were talking before we started the show. You just got back from Hawaii because Impossible Science has blown up since the last time you've been on the show. And, there's shows all over the country. You're flying around all over.
Yeah.
So, it's rough, the time difference from Hawaii back here now.
Yeah, I went Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Stopped in Los Angeles. Corpus Christi. Stopped in Los Angeles. Hawaii. Stopped in Los Angeles. Then here. And every one of those stops was under 30 hours.
That's tight, man. Oh, my God.
And why the winter storms were happening, right?
I hit them all. I hit the blizzard. I hit the ice storm. I hit the winter storm in Oahu. And and now I'm here. So if the weather gets really bad here, it's me.
No, I think you know what? I think you actually brought really good weather. Like it's looking like the weather we're going to have here is going to be pretty great.
But last week, flying in that mess must have been horrible, right?
Yeah, that's a magic trick in itself.
Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah. And then just generally being around. If you've ever been in an airport where all of a sudden they have to cancel all flights because of some blizzard, and then everybody there are immediately miserable, and then it's sad because you're because it's not good for everybody, and then they're complaining, but they know they're what am I supposed to do? Is a blizzard? They're doing this for my own safety.
Yeah, I put it up
so
there.
Mad.
I put it up there with being stuck in a parking garage after your team loses. You know what I mean? Like that feeling of when you're in the parking garage and you can't get out and you know your team lost and you just sat for 2 hours watching the Magic lose, and now you're trapped in a parking garage and for no reason you're gonna have to sit there and just marinate in your loss.
You're yelling at the Southwest person that works behind the counter, and then she's like, "Do you want to fly and die in this?" And you're like, "Yes, I do," because that's how miserable I am. Anyway, so
I've never seen a snowstorm like I saw in Columbus. That was another level. And the worst part about it is every time I checked into the airport hoping to leave, over 3 days, by the way, I was stuck there, I had to check everything back out. And I'm traveling with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of equipment. So every time I check in the luggage and then they cancel the flight, I got to take it all back and figure out where to put it.
Oh, that's horrible.
So you're glad Tom brought this up.
Yeah, I'm still having nightmares about it.
It just shows that Jason's a grinder, and he's out there traveling. He's just showing the world science, and sometimes that traveling is rough, especially during winter storms.
But Orlando is totally different because I didn't bring the gear just on a plane. I literally sent a half a ton of equipment via crate here. So we're bringing big illusions this time.
Yeah.
Last year was like my TSA surprise show. It's a surprise what I brought on plane.
You get stopped a lot because you bring weird stuff
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I've been called. So my phone number is on all of my luggage. And funny story. I get a phone call while I'm in the lounge, and I didn't know the number. I decided to get rid of it. Ignore it.
Yeah, just ignore it.
And calls again, get a little suspicious, still ignore it. Get a text message from it, and it's like, "Hi, my name's Ryan from the bomb squad on on this airline. Could you please call us?" And I call him back and goes, "Mr. Latimer, are you traveling at this terminal in this plane?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "I think I'm staring at your laser trick."
It
Also,
puts
by
up
the
some
way,
red
all
flags.
you had to say was all you had to do was reply to the bomb squad, and then he felt better. You know what I mean? Like seriously, because Jason isn't going to go blowing things up.
Well,
or maybe.
No, well, in my luggage, everything is laid out, including advertisements of the show that I'm going to,
so that they know,
so that you can see my
Smart,
name,
man.
my equipment, a picture of what it does,
Smart.
and a phone number. And so,
which, by the way, I would do this if I was a terrorist to try and trick them.
This is the bomb. He goes in the building.
well, the funny thing is, to their credit, they actually couldn't get a hold of me, so they immediately started researching everything they found in the case. So they found the video of the illusion that they were looking at, and
online,
so when I
That's
called them back,
hilarious.
they're like, "I think I'm looking at your laser illusion," and I'm like, "Yes, you are," and then they were just like, is there, we want to make sure you make it to your flight. We want to make sure that everything gets on the plane. Is there anything you want to tell us before we hang up right now? Is there anything else that would be suspicious? And I'm like, well, the next case is probably the T-shirt cannon. And he's like, T-shirt cannon? How do we miss a T-shirt?
Yeah, it makes you feel bad. Yeah.
They're like, you know how much stuff goes through? We can't get it all. So don't
we
tell
missed the
anybody.
glitter bomb. A bomb. Yeah, that's the first one you should have got.
Yeah, but I honestly, I don't mind being stopped because that means they're doing their job.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's the comfort behind it. So like, if they want to call me, feel free, give me a call. And probably only when I'm traveling though.
Yeah. Are you
How you
constantly?
doing today, Jason?
Are you constantly working on illusions like forever? Like, are you locked to it? And how many do you have? Because I always think of this.
Man.
How many do you have just stored that are like 70%?
Okay, so I'm a very obsessive individual. So I obsess over one illusion for a long period of time. I tend to iterate illusions based on it could be better. And
Gotcha.
And so I don't necessarily even know how many magic illusions I have. I have about an 8,000 square foot warehouse that's just
That was my next question.
just
Where do you
filled
put them
with
all?
yeah, my bedroom.
Yeah,
No.
They're just laying around everywhere.
They're just furniture.
It is funny to think that you walk into his house and there's like a couple in the dining room.
Hey, it
There's
starts
one-
off that way.
Really?
It starts off that everybody's
Cool.
a starving artist in the beginning. But there'll be like one illusion on the chopping block for a long period of time until I get that thing iterated, and then the idea is put it in the show, and just let it go. And learn from it. Write down 10 things that could be better about it, and I don't try to fix the one I have. I just wait till I have that list of 10, and then I make that one. The next version is that much better.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so
you
I
even
get
have
two sets of them.
You even have a guideline. It's almost like you have a bucket to fill before you make the change to make it worthy enough of a change. That's smart.
Comes from an experience of spending a lot of money over a long period of time trying to make something perfect. When you realize it's never going to be perfect.
Right.
Let's just make it as close to 95%.
How do you know when to disconnect, or is that the hardest part?
I don't think I've ever stopped. I have many iterations. Like the laser illusion that I do here, which is one of my traveling versions, is where I pick up a beam of light, I bend sections of it, I break sections of it, spin it around like a giant staff. You got to see it. It's like Star Wars in real life.
Yep. Yeah.
That I'm on my sixth version of that, and I have different ones that do different things. Some of them I can run up the beam. Some of them I can do a pull-up on the beam. This one is built for speed. It's like 2 Iron Man suitcases that unfold and connect to each other, and it becomes a 4 foot by 8 foot by 2 foot prop. So it's and then it folds back into itself, and the outside of the case is actually, the inside of the case is the outside of the prop. So and that way I save weight.
Is that something that, not to geek out on magic with you, but
That's
we
okay.
do this with every person connected to magic that comes in here, you and I then I start going into I ask 1,000 questions. Is that efficiency always sort of paramount because you're going to have to take these things other places? Is that always built in?
Well, it comes with experience because when I was younger, I joke around it was my heavy metal phase. I used to build everything out of steel. I used to create these really large illusions with no intention of moving them, and then you find out how often you have to travel. And then you start thinking all right, well, would it be worth it to not be able to travel with this, or could it do a little bit less but travel a lot faster?
Yeah.
And then it comes down to space. Like this illusion that I brought here, the laser illusion I brought here, is specifically designed to fit in the back of an SUV. And so, like when I get picked up at the airport, I don't need a special vehicle. I just need, I guess, I need
so
an
cool,
Escalade
man.
or a Suburban. It's designed to fit between the 48 inches of the wheel wells.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So let's talk just the base.
Totally nerd. Total nerd, by the way.
But our guys like this kind of stuff.
Hey, you never think about the logistics of this stuff.
I love that sort of stuff because, like, almost like, again, if you can't move it, then what do you even have? Because the whole point is to take it to
the greatest backyard show ever.
You got to take it to Hawaii, and Hawaii is far away. You know,
I'm about to ask you a long, confusing question that has no answer.
we call these Corollas. He's about to give you a Corolla. We had Adam Carolla on last week, and we literally blew it. We flushed our head in the proverbial interview toilet on that one.
I'm just going to talk it out with you, Jason.
Talk it out with Jason. He's your buddy.
Because we've
He's
talked to
your
you
friend in
before,
STEM.
but the relationship between science and magic is always been there because there's always some human psychology mixed in with like chemistry and the way your brain works and why where you can do real science, but it looks like an illusion, but it's actually just science. And then the way humans look at things that are happening and I can't understand this, so it must be magic, but there's reality behind it. And I love it, even with let's say human achievement or what David Blaine does, where he's oh, I realize that with practice and putting my body through cold or whatever, I can stay in a block of ice for days, or I cannot eat anything or hold my breath if I breathe in pure oxygen for 15 minutes. And it seems like a trick, but it's really just me training. And then with enough training, you can make something look like a magic trick, but it's just I'm really holding my breath because I breathe in pure oxygen. I can do that, and that's what humans can do. So how much of that do you get inspired by with coming up with new magic tricks? You see some sort of science that maybe even new technology, and you're oh, I can incorporate this into a future impossible science.
First off, that last part happens all the time. I'm always on the hunt for something that somebody may not know or may not notice, like whether you go to CES to find a new technology or a science principle that not many people have heard of. But when it comes down to the whole science versus magic concept, so the show this upcoming weekend, even though it's all about how the right question changes everything, I discuss how science isn't there to tell us what can and can't happen. Science is there to tell us what is likely versus less likely given what we've learned so far.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We said flight was impossible, and then someone asked questions, and we learned about lift, and then we thought about putting a motor with lift and had suspended flight, and now flight is possible for everybody.
So you're leaving some space.
Well, the idea is how do you know what can't happen? How does anybody know what's not possible? Everything we've ever learned came from us. So how do we know there's not some cheat code that says after 1,001 times of jumping on 1 foot, you fly away?
But that fact,
I always think stuff like this.
1,002.
Yeah, there it is.
That fact confuses a lot of people, causes a lot of conspiracy theories because when someone's like, "Oh, you told me this was science. This was 100% fact," and you're like, "No, that's not really how science works." It is, everything's about 99.9 based on the evidence,
using what we know.
Using what we know, but things change, and then science changes. And
science is a way of thinking. It's just if you think the best way I explain impossible science, or the concept that we try to convey as a curriculum when you come to our camps or festivals, it's really about realizing all of us are in a game without a rule book. There's never been a rule book of what can and can't happen. So every answer we've ever had of what's possible and what's not came from us. And the only reason we think we're right is because we've asked questions in a logical fashion, which is science.
Yeah.
You say something like that in a lot of your videos where you say, hey, don't worry. Like when you're interacting with people, you'll be like, hey, don't worry. Whatever you think is the way I'm doing this is correct.
Yeah.
I've heard you say that.
Absolutely.
And then I'm like, oh, I like that.
Because your way could work too.
Right.
And
a lot of magicians do use more than one process
absolutely
to execute the same illusion.
So
we know that.
That's called effect versus method. So you can have the same effect of somebody floating in the air, but the method could be actually floating, or it could be
an illusion.
An illusion of some sort.
Or 100 different other ways that you do it.
Now, if you take that conversation that you were just talking about and extract it and put it into the science community, effect versus method means you could have a cure to a disease. The effect is the cure. The method could be different ways of approaching a cure. whether it's back in the day we used to think maybe for fevers it was bleeding yourself out. Wasn't a great idea.
Well, I still put leeches on my daughter, to this day.
But then what happens is somebody asked better questions and found a better method to solve the same effect.
Sure.
So when you think about that, the concept of magic approaching science, or science approaching magic, is really just like having a goal, like a cure, innovation, new idea, and asking questions to see if you can bring it to life. Same concept.
You're gonna bore a hole in my head because I'm sad sometimes.
I want that. I want that so bad.
Bad question.
Too far.
There could be a better question. But the idea behind it is like, I've realized over studying magic for so long that when you get to this unlikely versus likely scenario, the real question for me became, well, if everything is just maybe possible, just haven't figured out how to do it yet.
Right.
What defines the concept of magic? If everything is maybe possible, what is magic? And so I started thinking about it, and I realized it's nothing more than a difference in understanding. If I understand, let's say, a lighter. A lighter could be very magical to somebody that's never seen a lighter before. A difference in understanding, a difference in technology, a difference in knowledge. And so really, the concept of magic is perspective. Whether you knew it was possible or you didn't know it was possible. Whether you thought it was unlikely or you thought it was likely. And I can actually show you I can show you something right now that will prove to you the difference between.
But going back to the lighter, my pop-up used to say, like, if you went back to medieval times with this lighter, you'd be a king.
Exactly.
And then I'm like, I'm pretty sure they'd murder me because I was some sort of
He doesn't understand that, like me, you got to think quick on your feet. You got to be like, well, there's more where that came from. If you kill me, I will release hellfire upon this village. And then they all back up.
And then you say, blink.
Yeah, then they all back up. Yeah, then you look and you see there's no more butane, and you're like, oh my God, what have I done?
Strike!
Yeah, you got to start running.
And now I'll show you how fast I am.
Yeah, exactly. Watch this.
Well, even when people would experience,
he's going to do something for us. Don't let him not do something for us.
But like solar eclipses and things that we didn't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're like, hey, quick, murder a person. We're going to please the gods.
A solar eclipse once stopped a war because it happened, and they thought the gods were unhappy with them because they were fighting. So it ended the war.
Think about everything we think we know now and what they're going to make fun of us for in the future.
Oh, I think about it all the time. Right now, it's my haircut, but we'll get there.
Wait, it's going to be. Wait a minute. You let all of society have smartphones unregulated?
You
put a receiver to your face?
Why would you ever do? You put a microwave on the side of your head?
You ruined a whole generation. Ruined. Oh God, it's my kid.
I do kind of feel like my eyeballs say that to me every day. My eyeballs are like,
you posted photos of your food. What?
That's a good one. That's a great one. Now, are you going to do something for us? Because I love magic.
I got tons of stuff. I got tons of stuff.
Let's do something.
All right. We were on the topic of we were talking about perspective.
Okay, all right.
We can do one thing and it'll look like science, and you could change the perspective and it'll look like magic. So I thought I'd do something along that lines. I have my phone here, but do you guys have your phones, or do you have a calculator available?
Oh yeah, I got one.
And are we live? We're live.
We are live on Twitch and YouTube.
Okay,
yes, sir.
All right. So do you have your phone?
Yeah.
Get your calculator out too.
Get my calculator out.
All right. So just go
By
ahead.
the way, you're asking for what is the most dangerous thing anyone should ever ask me is to pull my phone out. Well, I'm going to put that out there.
For you to do math.
Just nobody wants to see anything on my phone. It's nothing but bad stuff.
I thought you were just talking about for me to do math.
Okay,
the most
I'm
dangerous.
here.
All right,
Calculator ready.
Let's ask one of your viewers. Here. Dan, I need you to think of a 3-digit number. Let's all type it in.
A 3-digit number? How about 888?
888. All right.
Okay.
So we're going to hit that times. Now, Tom, I want you to think of a 3-digit number, not all the same numbers, if you would. And by the way, you can
3 different numbers.
Yeah, or you can look at the serial on a phone. You could look on a credit card. What's your PIN number? No, you're
or you're going to look at your Mountain Dew can.
I'll go 159.
Okay, so we're going to go 888 times 159. All right. Mm-hmm. If you hit equals, everybody at home should have 141,192. If you don't have that one, you should be English major or something.
Okay, got 141, 192.
Now I want you. We need a viewer to say a number, a 3-digit number.
Tracy's
the
in
chat
there.
room.
Tracy is in there.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can use somebody that people
Yeah,
trust. We
yeah.
work with Tracy. Tracy works at the Science
Yeah, but she could be an
Center.
insider. We did not use Tracy. We could have
Okay.
planned this all, and Jason could have been a whole room.
You want to use EJ? He's the greatest villain of our show.
It's got to be someone completely. Who
How
else?
about Melissa?
All right, okay.
Melissa, you're on the clock. So you need a number from Melissa?
A 3-digit number from Melissa.
Melissa, 3-digit number. She's in our chat room. Melissa will give us a number. All right. We'll all sit here
what number?
quietly. She said 693.
So we're going to multiply that 141,192 times 693.
Okay.
Okay. And we got a huge number here, 97 million and change. All right. Now, I don't want, let's see, on this one, we're going to add, and I'm just going to flip the phone over. I don't want you to randomly tap the screen.
Okay, all right.
Just give it a few taps.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, you would too.
All right. Tink, tink, tink. There we go.
And Jeff? Okay. We're going to add 11 million, 11,
11
441,
441
519,
519. Got
and
it.
hit equals.
Okay, what is it? 1-1. What is it?
Oh my God! I feel like I'm back in high school. I'm like, get this guy in the slow class.
Oh my
this
God.
guy's an idiot. He's slow. You know what? This is disruptive to my education. Having this.
Wait, I
dum-dum in
I
it.
need the math again because somebody cleared my phone.
Okay, so
You said punch randomly.
Yeah.
You said punch
Okay,
randomly.
the first one was 888, right? The second one was
159.
Yes.
times 159.
Yes.
The next one was
What did Melissa say?
times
Melissa said 693.
Oh, you said-
times 693, and we had the number 97 million. All right.
Yep, 97, 846, 056.
056,
056.
Okay. Now we're gonna hit some random numbers.
Okay, all right. Here we go. All right.
Perfect. And if you hit some random numbers.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
All right.
And if you hit some random numbers.
That's not clearing.
not
Yeah.
clear. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How'd we do?
Everybody add 114
Okay.
415 197.
Okay.
All right.
You get 212 million and change, right?
Yeah.
Now, for those of you watching mathematics, that made perfect sense, right? But if I change the perspective of something right now, if I were to change your perspective of mathematics, we're going to go from likely to unlikely. Now, does that make sense?
Yes.
So, does that number look familiar to any of you?
What, the 212,261,253?
No. 261,253.
It does not ring a bell to in my.
That's not your favorite number in the world?
No.
No.
Well, if you take a closer look at it and you really think about it, we're really close to the idea of changing. If I were to write this out, you could write 2/12/26/1253. February 12th, 2026 at 12:53.
Wow.
That's the time that we're doing this
Damn.
right
Oh my
now.
God! I wrote it down in the. I hit that one in the chat room too. I was just listening to what you said, and I put it. That's
That's the exact
You know,
date and
That's
time of
crazy.
today.
that's creepy. Jason, that's a good one. That's good.
No, because when you think about it.
Well, hold on. How did you get it right at the
So when you-
12:53?
so when you think
how did
of-
you hit it on the nut?
So
like
when you
that?
think about it, that was just a simple math trick. And then you realize something, wait a second, if you change your perspective of what that was, that's magical. And that's true for any topic anywhere. If you just change your perspective, a microwave is magical.
Yeah.
Your car is magical.
So, okay.
Dan's just nodding. He's like, this is
no, but
amazing.
you know why? Because now we're mad, like a little bit mad. 'Cause this
Well,
guy-
there's a lot of good math tricks,
Yeah.
and then like mathematics is going back to like science and magic being real close cousins. Like mathematics is used a lot in magic because it doesn't seem possible when like there's certain numbers that I forgot. I saw this on TikTok.
You're explaining this
whatever.
perfectly.
Well, there's some number where like a 4-digit number, and then if you reorganize.
Is this the same one I learned when I was in like 8th grade?
Yes, yeah. It's like an 8th grade magic. I only know things from 8th grade, Jason.
Say most. What do you put in a toaster? Is that the one you're going to do?
Here's a simple math
All
one.
right, okay.
All right, you take this one. I don't know if you can see this on the.
Yeah. I'm going to shrink your camera down so it's a wider angle. There we go. Now we got you.
It's a simple idea of I joke around is the illusion of knowledge. You will trick yourself into saying, I know the answer. I don't need to learn anymore. Like in this box is another box. Wow. And by pulling the black box out of the green box, I don't know if you can see it, by pulling the black box out of the green box, we can assume one thing about the interior size of this box in relationship to this box.
Yeah, it's smaller.
Which is, we say smaller, which is why it's so odd that the green box fits inside the black box. This is not a magic trick. The boxes are the exact same size. They're just in different orientations. But we would have been comfortable with the word smaller, and we would have said, I don't need to learn anymore. I already know the answer. And you would have moved on with the illusion.
I almost freaked out and ran out of here. When you put the green box inside the black box, I almost freaked out and ran out of here.
Every morning I wake up
that.
and I tell myself I don't need to learn anything. I know everything.
So you change, if you change your perspective into just saying, I don't know everything, that's the concept of the show, is like the right question changes everything.
Not of our show. The concept of our show is he knows everything.
So you basically have to think outside the box.
There you go. Jeff got it. You're bringing it all around.
And that looks like a good time for me to tell you to think outside the bun. This brought to you by Taco Bell and their brand new
That's a good one.
cinnamon taquitos.
Oh, we'd be rich if we had Taco Bell as a sponsor.
But we don't. We don't have Taco Bell.
Yes. So don't miss the new Science Taco. Get it in Science Night Live on Saturday.
Science Night Live. I would love that.
So
Science and tacos, Jeff. That's a great idea.
I think we've hit on the next theme of
Yeah,
this
I would
event.
definitely do
The Cinco
that.
de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. We could corner the Cinco de Mayo magic
We could
show.
totally do that. Get a mariachi band out
Get
there.
on that.
Yeah.
We only have one show a year. It's a very specific time.
What is that? What is this?
This is a levitation wand. Because it says levitation wand.
Oh, it does say, it does say levitation.
Duh. But this goes back to the idea if you took a lighter back to medieval times, you could rule the world. Well, this is a levitation wand. Now, since it's from Impossible Science, it's not like, you wouldn't realize, well, you probably don't think this is superpowers, but really what it is, it's a handheld Van de Graaff. What is that? It builds a static charge. If I push this button and build a static charge into that wand, I take this Mylar and I touch it against this wand, and all of a sudden, you have levitation.
Oh, wow. It turned into a weird shape, too.
Yeah,
It turned into like Madonna's bra, like I believe, or something like.
everybody sees it a little differently.
Let it fall a little bit so it can. I'll put it in the camera. There it is.
So it wants to ground out. So it wants to touch something where it loses its static charge.
It was looking for that microphone.
Oh, I can do it. Yeah, I can move this back a
And
little
that's
bit here.
called a Van de Graaff?
Yeah, Van de Graaff generator. Normally they're really large and you make your hair stand up.
Okay.
This one's battery powered. So now you actually just touch it here. Let's see if I can keep it away from that. How about that? That works for you?
Yeah, that is fantastic.
So this, it looks magical. Had you not had somebody to explain how it works, it would probably be, I don't know.
Oh man, the
beginning of a small
You
religion.
just sold 40 of these in the chat room. People would buy this.
And so what happens is if I touch it, it's going to discharge. So watch. So it discharges. But if I let it charge, it goes up. Now it's trying to touch something that's touching the ground, which is your microphone. So.
But that's also science because it's seeking that out. Is it drawn to the microphone because it wants to?
Put your hand up. It's attracted to you.
Oh, I killed it.
I just blew your mind.
I would play with this all afternoon as a relaxing
get you one.
sensory toy.
Anytime I see a magician levitate anything, I'm always like, he's using a hair string, man. That's my go-to is a hair string.
Yeah.
But it's not, it can be done different ways.
The man on the end of it. He's using a hair string, man.
It's invisible to the naked eye, and he's holding it with his tongue.
I get embarrassed of showing how we turn into blubbering hillbillies when magicians come around. Anybody that does magic and science, they come in here and Tom and I show
Must be a hair string.
When they show our
Everything's a hair string.
We love magic, and we are powerless fools to magic.
And then you meet some magician who's like bald, and you're like, I don't know, I got nothing. Well, he must be a mentalist.
You described it perfectly in the fact that there's multiple ways to make something levitate.
Effect versus
it's not
method.
always a hair string.
Yeah.
Like
That
this
was
is
great though, because that is using science to make real magic, right?
Which is exactly what Impossible.
That's what you're doing.
So Impossible Science, as a company, we've taken the nation's science standards and transformed them into magic tricks. So the kids not only blow their minds, they go, well, how does that work?
Yeah.
And ta-da, they just learned about refraction. Ta-da, you just learned about static electricity. Or you learned about math. I have no superpowers, and I love telling people I have no superpowers. I'm just a guy who asks a lot of questions.
Yeah. One of the greatest things to come out of sensory and fidgets where like some of the fidgets are good, and I'll give you one. That mega cube that has the different tinted sides that shows you the power of like you can use colors and refraction to change different colors in the cube. Have you seen that thing?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's just this cube, and each side it has a different like RGB, like red, green, blue, and then you can when you turn it and
A Rubik's Cube.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's just a block.
No, it's just a block of light, and as you turn it, each filter like cyan will kill blue, or vice versa, and that's how. And it teaches you how light will eliminate other colors to make other colors.
And your perception of color is all has to do with light.
And it teaches you the science of it. But what's weird is that like this stuff is popular now. This stuff is like in the algorithm where it's like these are like devices that kids, you could have never been able to buy that when I was a kid. These stuff like that. Like that would have been something that only your science teacher had, and he spent like $200 on it that the company didn't, or that Volusia County Schools didn't give him, and he spent his own money to get it, and he brought it in to show you how to like learn the colors through light.
When people tell me that they like, I was just thinking about back in the day, people would tell me stuff like, "Oh, I was never good at science," and it's partially because your science teacher wasn't helpful. Didn't help you. They didn't have, maybe some of them didn't have the right gadget to inspire you with, or didn't have the right presentation to inspire you with.
Sure.
And so that's kind of what we're hoping to do this weekend is we have professionals from all over the country coming to one spot to showcase the craziness that is going on in science today. And when I'm doing my show, no offense, but I'm not bringing my levitation wand on stage and not a cardboard box. I'm bringing what I would say is my level of impossible science, where I'm going to walk through a 4-foot by 7-foot plate glass mirror, where I invite the audience to come up and check it out. We're going to be shaping water in an object. We're going to be bending light. We're going to be making things move on their own, and we'll even turn something invisible. I actually brought my invisibility shield, the one I built that I terrorized my neighborhood with it during COVID.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I was reading something about that, but then I didn't get to finish what. So you actually built an invisibility cloaking device?
Shield. Yeah.
Invisibility shield.
That's the technical term.
Okay, I love it.
No, it's okay.
I will give you $10,000 for it. Because it's been my dream, Jason,
It really
to be
has.
invisible since I was young.
So there's lots of the effect.
Buy this for your son Tommy. That's his dream.
He's not getting it. I got the $10,000.
I will give you $20,000
for two.
What's it called? The idea behind it is like, so the effect is turning yourself invisible. The method that I chose to use is refraction, and so basically, there's a lot of people that have used a lenticular lens to make themselves turn invisible. Not everybody took the time to explain how they work and break them down how to make them work even better and make the background perfect so that it would work anywhere, anytime. And I am a super nerd, and I decided to go for it, and now I built it, and I brought it here. And so at the Orlando Science Center, kids get to play with it.
That's awesome.
Perfect city for it. Harry Potterville is there. If you're going to do invisibility, Orlando's the place. There's
stay
no
in science class.
We are we're as close to real Hogwarts as you can get, right? Like it's got to be here. That's an Orlando thing.
It's so important to me that the kids realize that not only is this amazing and inspiring and just jaw-dropping science, it's super important that they know they could do it too. It's so important that they know that they could ask a question that could change the world. And it's our responsibility as educators to make sure that they're inspired so they can stand on our shoulders to see farther over the horizon on what's not possible now but could be with their question.
There you go.
And it's super interesting because even when you see science working in front of you and you know that that wand is creating static electricity and that's what's moving the tinsel but even though you realize the science behind it, it still seems magical.
Exactly.
Because you don't understand you can't see and totally wrap your brain around the fact of what static electricity even is and how it affects this. And so even though you know it's science, it does still seem like magic, which is pretty cool that we have that relationship with science. And you almost have to have faith that it isn't magic. And you have
it works both ways.
Because
it works in that well, hold on a second, it could be magic. It does work that way.
It just changed your perspective. Is that a likely situation for you? Is it likely that you have a Van de Graaff generator at your house?
Now, see, I was very lucky that going to DeLand High, I did have a physics teacher that was badass. Shout out Mr. Dunn. he had all of these things that you're talking about. I'm triggering myself a little bit because it was one of my favorite classes. Like,
Right.
there's some certain things that in science, like, I still have core memories of them, and it is why I like magic to this day. Like the alchemy penny lab, when you take a penny and you use chemicals to make it look like it's turning into gold, which is a technique that people used to scam people back in the day and probably still do it now.
Is that why you're
That's badass. That is so
I heard this
cool.
might work.
But he had the big thing, and the static electricity, the
Van de Graaff.
Yeah, Van de Graaff, and he spent a lot of his own money because teachers don't get paid tons to buy a lot of this stuff because he was kind of like you. He thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Well, think about like even the ordinary things that everybody has in their house and our misunderstanding of how they work, like a microwave. Like, you remember in the 80s when your mom told you not to stand too close to the microwave because of radiation? Like, no one understood that all it did is vibrate water molecules and to heat them up, and is completely safe. And we're like, nah, radiation. because you
It has to be radiation.
You're like, radiation's hot.
There's plutonium in there, right?
I mean, I still, to this day, if I use the microwave here, I come in here. I treat
an X-ray
I treat it no
That's
different
what
like an
that lead
X-ray
suit is
machine.
for.
You know, the doctor, she goes behind the thing, and she's like, okay. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why are you behind the thing?
You're perfectly safe, but I'm going to run
You're
around.
shooting it right into me.
Yeah, but even something as simple as that everybody uses every day, it's like you don't really understand fully, even though you say it like, oh yeah, it's just vibrating water molecules, and that's what's heating it up.
Oh,
You're
I
like,
think
okay.
our thermostat went off. Jason's taking his jacket off.
Yeah, now we're talking real science here. We got to get ready for this.
But even though you say okay, and you're like, yes, that's how it works, you're like, don't even really understand that, right?
Well,
So you're
because,
like, okay.
because again, you told me what that is. You told me what the science behind it is. I can go and read about the science. I can't technically really see what the machine is doing.
Yeah.
So there is an element of magic to it, right?
No, there's always that having an imagination of what could happen. That's what I always attribute that to wonder. Like for me, my definition of wonder is this ability to have an idea of something before it's ever happened. Like the concept of tomorrow. We can all wonder about tomorrow. Now, the reason why I think that's significant to me is because as of right now, I think we're the only living species that we know of that can do that. Like, I try to teach your dog the concept of tomorrow. Like,
I tried. He's an idiot.
I know. I told him
this dog. Like,
He's living every
I told you July 31st.
I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow. He's like, what?
Well, see, that's. I love the fact that we don't know it all.
Right.
Jason, right? That's great. And
Then
Jeff,
why do you pretend to know it all?
Well, Jeff, I mean, this is the wonder behind the Science Center.
It really is.
In general, it's like, yes, we know so much, and it's awesome how much we know and how much we can look up and know, but there's still mystery.
So much.
Exactly.
Like the fact that we don't
many.
know what dark matter is, and the fact that we don't know fully like what happened before the Big Bang, or if that even is a thing, if the time started at the Big Bang, and stuff like that. Where it's like there are so many mysteries out there that we don't know of, and that's what I'm fascinated about, because we do seemingly like you can look up everything and you're like, oh, okay, this is how it works, but there are still mysteries out there.
Yeah, and the only reason we're able to talk about them now is because we can wonder about an answer. We can wonder about something that doesn't exist, and that's like the quintessential essence of being a human.
I think that's the fuel,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
That's the fuel
that like
keeps it
we
going.
can wonder.
Yeah.
And the Science Center, especially this weekend, this Spark
Yes,
STEM Fest,
sir.
this ability to wonder needs to be flexed like a muscle. You need to use it. You need to keep using your ability to ask questions so that you can flex your curiosity and get it strengthened by saying, you know what, I don't know everything, but it's okay to keep asking questions.
See, I wish you were my wife, Jason, because
That is one
Married. Married.
Okay, before you freak out,
Already taken.
Before you freak out, let me just tell you that is the highest compliment that we can give you on the show, is to tell man or woman that we wish we were married to you.
because when
Thank you for clarification.
when I ask how things
I'm still not
work,
going to tell you the answer.
my wife's like, quit asking, wondering how things work. It's annoying.
Why do you care?
Yeah. Why do you care how things work or why something's happening? I'm like, that's what life's
Her
about.
least favorite show is How It's Made. She hates that show. It's on. She's like, turn that off.
We already know the answer. It's a frisbee.
Is she curious to the mysteries of life? How is this plane flying? Anyway, she hates it. Jason, thanks so much for coming by. And Jeff,
I'm sorry, that's super funny. There are so many shows. You were doing a ton of shows. right? Like I'm looking at them here, the show schedule. So I just want to make sure I let people know, let our listeners know, because we're getting a lot of people in here like, when is this? When can I go? So, I mean, basically all weekend, but you're going to want to get the tickets. If you want to be a part of the Valentine's Day event that night, that's adults only, you're going to want to get that super duper fast. But there are other ways to see Jason, what he does, the show, and be a part of, you know.
Spark STEM Fest is happening Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Jason is performing multiple shows throughout the weekend. Come check him out. Yeah, we want you to come to the Science Night Live, which is 18 and up, Valentine's Day themed. He's going to do some special shows. We also have astronaut Nicole Stott and Christina Korp, the astronaut wrangler. They're going to be doing a fireside chat, going to talk about what it's like being in space. Christina's going to talk about her career managing Buzz Aldrin. It's going to be moderated by Brendan Byrne from Central Florida Public Media. A lot of cool stuff happening Saturday night. Get some tickets online at OSC.org. But also, the Spark STEM Fest all weekend long. Some amazing stuff. Partners like Disney, Lockheed Martin, Advent Health, plus these awesome shows with Jason. UCF is there with robot dogs. It's going to be incredible.
Can we
you don't want to miss it.
You think we could get a robot dog for the studio, Jeff?
I think we should. I mean,
the interviews are quiet.
It will pay attention to your show.
We'll buy it.
Yeah,
we'll buy it.
Well, I spent all my money on invisibility. That's all I have. I can't have a robot dog and invisibility.
You have to choose.
Big choices.
Just don't misplace the dog.
It's true.
I think he's behind the shield.
I put the cloak on the dog, and now they're both missing.
Don't move.
Where did I put the invisibility shield?
That's hilarious.
Jason, Jeff, thanks so much.
We love having you, man.
Thank you so much.
Anytime you have something to promote, please hit us up.
Thank
Jeff,
you.
always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Guys, we will we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.